And I guess now we're live. Man, am I tired. Hi, welcome to the Friday time slot, which is normally reserved for the Convergence campaign. But today, instead, we're doing a one-shot because some of those players needed some time off. That were, life things. And, we respect people's life choices and things they need to do with them. Most of the time. So, in lieu of that, I decided to run a one-shot, and everyone else here that's joined me, 2 players from Convergence, with Kara and Kayla, who play Sarah and Lithian, and 2 other players from my Tuesday game, both Kyle and Odd, who play Kenna and Edelweiss. So I'm really excited. I really like it when I get my other players from other games to interact with one another, because they're all in their own little bubbles. So I really like one-shots that other players join in on. Hopefully there'll be more in the future then. So, like I said, I'm a little tired, so the pace is gonna be a little slower today, as I kind of just slowly work through everything and do proper setup. Which is to say, this is a spiel for both people listening and for you guys. Today we're doing something a little different. So as you saw, this is a one-shot with 4 players. You're all level 1. In a setting that is going to be extremely hostile and extremely dangerous, and the lethality rate is very high. And this is all on the back of some choices and dice rolls that were influenced from the Moonrise campaign. And this is going to be seeing things that are going to be unfolding. But this is giving the opportunity for it to have a slightly better outcome than was how I originally wrote it, which was very black and white. This is it. It was done. And so we have an opening. I'm going to see if some player choices and decision making can make it a little better. And I feel like we've got enough smart players here that maybe it will be a little bit better than I had originally anticipated. So the most important thing I want to explain is that this isn't, I don't know, I guess it's not a traditional one-shot. That doesn't really mean anything. So what I'm getting at is, so we're probably not going to be switching off of this map. And clearly this map isn't exactly to scale, and obviously the interiors don't have anything in them. But I did this because, as I explained, as I wrote in my explanation of the one-shot, this is kind of inspired by 30 Days of Night, a vampire movie, where the most important things to be conscious of, aware of, are your players, the people you know in town, because you're all from the same town, you all know one another, and moving in between locations while trying not to be acknowledged or sniffed out by the encroaching attack of werewolves, which is very dangerous and very difficult to do. So the things that I really focused on the map were just doors and windows, alleyways, places to get in and out, and the reason why I left everything completely blank is because I want you guys, as the players, when we move into a scene, I'll read you in on a relatively simple description, providing a bit of props in the area, and then when you guys move forward to make choices, I want you to imagine if there is something that your character needs in the narrative, to have it be there. If that is a pitchfork, if that is a sack of grain, you can find these things. So we're just going to try to do a little bit of shared dungeon mastering, if you will. So that way this can keep things flowing a little bit. Because there's no thing that you can find in this town that will give you such a huge advantage that will outweigh the threat of the creatures hunting you. And of course, I guess that carries with it the implied meaning of, you're not going to find a Holy Avenger in a garbage bin in one of the alleyways, or conveniently a bucket full of silver weapons, right? It's small logging town, 2 of which, two players of which you guys are relatively familiar with. The other 2 who aren't, but it's a very simple lumber town with relatively simple people that all know one another and just work to get by and survive, and live a happy life. So there's nothing crazy like that. So take that into consideration. Don't be greedy, but reach for things that you might find useful. So that's why your starting items and things like that, if you took the time to go through your entire inventory management and get a bunch of stuff, if you've got it, great. If you don't, you can find stuff as we go along. So That being said, we are going to settle in, as recent times have not been easy in this town, the town of Dyrejagt, where not all that long ago, in one of the lumber camps where several of the members of this community work at, there was a terrible fire. And of the few people that survived and returned, came with them tales of a terrible two-eyed colored demon that walked in their midst and killed many of them. The town has been in mourning ever since, sad for the losses and the broken families. But life has to keep moving on. So they work. You all work, wherever you fit into this tiny little town. And I suppose, for those of you that know, and for those of you that don't, here's an opportunity. We're gonna start from top to bottom, and I just want you to give a brief description and overview of your character and where they fit into this town, this small 200-person lumber town. We're gonna start with Kyle.
Okay. Just restarting everything, so you have to give me 1 second. Okay. Urvius is a relatively tall human, winterborn. Blonde hair, it's not even shoulder length except for the braid that runs down the back. And he is an aspiring fisherman who was raised actually in one of the other small villages a little south of here, but knowing that most of the stuff done out of Dyrejagt is hunting and trapping because of the low the lack of a freshwater source large enough, is aspiring to travel into the wilderness to do exotic fishing in the mountains to bring back to the village. And that's what they're doing here, trying to make a name, or at least a enjoyable career for themselves.
Okay. Next up, Odd. Please tell us about your character.
Okay, this is Bree. They are an average dwarf who's found some magic, apparently. But it's nothing that's gonna bother them right now, and honestly, they think they have a long enough life to figure it out later. What they're more interested in doing is owning just the general home crafts of cooking and cleaning and stuff. They're kind of good at it, and they hope to maybe move out, become a servant, and go up from there. What happens after? Who knows, but they're taking it one step at a time.
That feels a little too close to home. Trying to hone my skills, trying to make it by. Hoping to make it big one day.
There's always room for maids and then for rich people.
Right, Kayla.
Okay, I didn't know what list we were going down, so I'm like, you'll say my name when we get there.
Oh, you know what? I suddenly switched partway through, but I guess that's just how that is. I was going down the Discord list, and then I suddenly started going across from left to right on the tokens. So, I guess Kara has more time to think a bit.
Yep. So I am playing Elsbeth. She came to the town about 2 or 3 years ago to help her uncle in the herbalist shop, to learn from him and to work with him. It was rather unfortunate. He was doing a delivery to the logging camp the day it burned down, so she's right now deciding whether she is going to stay and help out the town with what little she's learned in 3 years, or if she should be going home. But for now, she wants to stick around and help out where she can.
Okay. And last but not least, Yara.
Yes, the person who had no context for this town, yes.
It's alright.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm underprepared. It'll be fine.
No,
This
into your pants.
is... Tennessee. She is a half elf with long, like, blonde hair that is like green tinged with moss.
Mm.
I know the art has blue hair. Please ignore. And she just spends her days out with the trees and helping them, talking to them, asking them to grow big and strong so that it aids in, the lumber business of the town and making sure that all trees grow to their potential. And she just enjoys spending her time out in the wilderness and singing to trees.
Right. So now we've gotten to know our characters a little and kind of where they fall within the moving cogs of the town. Sometime after the tragedy at the lumber camp, that several colorful individuals visited town. And with them came many rumors, as often occurs when unusual people enter into a small community. Eventually, those individuals leave, but not on, but on the backs of quite a few rumors that most of the townsfolk aren't very eager to have confirmed true. Especially since, with their leaving, came an attack upon the village. And ever since, there has been quite a bit more urgency placed on the villagers to be careful, to follow the curfew, and to make sure that they always have a weapon nearby. But little did the captain of the guard know that when instating these rules, that when the greatest threat came to the village, none of these preparations would matter. And so, one early morning, when everyone was up, getting ready to start their days, somewhere off in the distance, there was the howl of a great wolf. The sounds so piercing, it rattled the glass on the windows in the village. And not too long following that came the screaming and the shouts. People watched in abject horror as loved ones, neighbors, people they knew have lived with all their lives. Some of them began to twist, break, and become malformed as their shapes twist into those of wolf lichens. Before anyone knew it, the town was in the midst of a slaughter. Those transformed, attacking and killing those around them in a frenzy that surely the town would never recover from. So, it's very early in the morning. It's a lumber town that gets most of its work prepared in the early parts of the morning before the sun comes up, and then many of the workers head out to begin working just before the sun rises. With that in mind, where is everyone during their early morning preparations? You're more than welcome to claim one of the empty houses unmarked as a place of residence, if you so desire.
So would Elsbeth not live in the herbalist shop?
You could.
I wasn't sure if it would be like that half and half place.
There would be a second story.
Okay. Yeah. She would be just waking up after having breakfast, would spend some time harvesting some plants for the day, seeing what there was to work on. Was there any requests? Kind of going about a usual routine, trying to find some normalcy.
Okay. Everyone else? Any particular location you would like to start in?
Wait a minute. Is this before the attack or after?
This is just before. Like, this is when you woke up that morning and you were getting ready to go about your day, and then it unfolds.
Yeah, sorry. Late, you know. I'll mark the place I'm at.
I'm assuming the brown scribble is you.
Orvius would have been. Usually
Yes.
their day would start before sun up. However, today is unfortunately not one of those days, and he would be at the Hunter's Lodge trying to trade some of his caught fish from the previous day for furs.
Okay.
To do some patchwork on his gear.
All right. And at this point, you have a great rapport with the hunters. Everyone in this town definitely looks after and takes care of everyone else, so that way everyone gets by. Last but not least, someone who I'm going to struggle to not call Tennessee all night.
Hey, it's better than my last one-shot character's name.
Who I still can't pronounce correctly.
Good.
This is what I deal with every Friday, by the way.
Oh yeah, I'm the problem one.
Yeah, you're the problem player. Ugh.
It's definitely me. Nobody else.
Do I have a problem player on Friday? Is it him?
It's
Not-
always Tim.
Always Tim. You hear that, Tim? It's
Hello,
always
Armand.
you.
This she would be up before sunrise
Mhm,
and
mhm.
wandering out into the wilderness and enjoying watching with the trees. This morning, say she would be stopping by. I would guess she would be a regular of the herbalist. Be stopping by for some sort of something.
Mm.
I don't.
Nothing
I'm
like
having
a
trouble thinking.
nice hot cup of Druid's coffee in the morning, am I right?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I was going for, but
Tea has caffeine, you know.
I mean, yeah, you just go and you go enjoy a nice little casual, early morning chit chat with your good friend Elsbeth. That's all it is.
I might even be able to grow Lanka.
No. Roll 20, please.
You're over here.
Thank you. Requesting no psychedelics this morning.
So your usual bag of mushrooms? Good to know.
Oh, what I was gonna say was just preparing to go out for probably groceries, buy some goods, get back home, run some other chores,
Mm-hmm. All right.
kind of day.
As I said, every day has become routine again. Now that the town has been able to settle. As all of you are beginning, sheltered by the comfortable walls of your homes, or wherever you happen to find yourself, is when you begin to hear this unnerving screaming begin off in the distance. And soon it's one voice, and then it's another, and it's another, and it's another, and it's another. And soon those transition into snarls and howls. and then the absolute sound of people screaming and in panic. What is everyone's initial reactions to this occurring? Even just a mindset. Like, what is going through your character's mind as you are hearing whatever this is unfold somewhere in the distance where you can't be certain what is happening?
Urvius is trying to see if he can find out which direction it's coming from. As he's at the Hunter's Lodge inside, but by the door, there seems to be several windows.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to start trying to at least peer out this way in the back to see if it's coming towards him. And he's just trying to like, all right, I have to hide and figure out what's I have to hide before I figure out what's happening.
Okay.
So he's trying to figure out if he can tell which direction it's coming from.
Make me a perception check.
Absolutely. With a +4.
Pretty good.
16 total.
That's pretty good. You guys are level 1. That's pretty good. So before you decide to kind of book away from the edge of your front door, peering into town, you kind of catch glimpses, and it's actually the glimpses that force you into action to find some cover to think better of what to do next. Because the Hunter's Lodge is a small distance away from the main edge of town. And it's where you watch these huge, dark shapes kind of move as a blur in between some of the buildings nearby. And immediately you sense this threat of danger. And you finally duck behind cover where you hear several of the other hunters begin murmuring amongst themselves, several of which immediately go to grab arms. But before we go to anyone else, you yourself watch as you've ducked and these hunters are gathering themselves to try to react to what's happening. You hear someone begin grunting in pain. And immediately, hunters sounding their concern. And you watch as 3 or 4 of them gather around one of their friends who's leaning heavily against one of the big wooden tables where they were playing cards moments before. Breathing, panting, and then you begin to hear the horrific sounds of skin tearing, bones breaking, as you observe the form grow into that of things you've only rarely ever heard about, into that of a lycanthropy, of a lycanthrope.
The boogeyman stories.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so as soon as upon hearing it, would probably go to hide.
Make a stealth check.
Also with a +4.
Sensing a theme.
Rogues, man.
Rogue's pretty sweet.
16 +4 for a 20.
Wow. You know, in horror movies, they call the character you focus on, and traditionally the last one to survive, and like 85% of the time tends to be a woman, the final girl. But I think we've found our final boy, the one who just doesn't get seen as everyone else dies. But let's not put that on anyone else yet. I was trying to real quickly find some casual...
Is the Hunter's Lodge 1 story or 2 stories?
It is 2 stories.
It is 2 stories?
Yes, the second story is smaller than the first one.
Is there by any chance a under these stairs like a cupboard, or is it an open floor plan with no cover behind the stairs?
It is open.
Okay. If the Hunter's Lodge, yeah, I'm trying to think of like a logical place they would hide. But if the Hunter's Lodge has got a place where they store all the food or whatnot, if they keep food there or if it's in storage. I'm sure he would know, but
You would. There is a cold storage that is behind the tavern that they bring back all their hunts, and that's where
so
they
they're
store
not storing. They're not storing food products inside the hunter's lodge.
No.
Okay.
Except for things that they eat.
Yeah, he would probably try to duck behind some kind of like fur rack
Okay.
that they would keep like their outerwear,
Mhm.
put up to dry.
Yep, hoping to use it just to mask you.
Yep.
Hoping that the sense of the furs or what's left of them will mask your scent. Wise.
Hey man, dogs smell wet dog and they leave it alone.
Okay. Well, we know where you're at and what's going on with you, and you've got a good stealth check to start everything off with. Let me make a note of that. And since we're just gonna work south from here, over in the herbalist shop, where the morning is usually had over quiet conversation with maybe a couple of jokes, and whatever Elsbeth has decided to prepare that morning, along with any things that are good half-elf Tennessee. Did I get that right this time?
Yeah.
Not Tennessee. Tennessee.
Please.
Has requested. Oh, don't worry. I'm gonna do it at least once tonight, completely seriously.
Okay.
Sorry, we just finished watching Zombieland 2, so I got a lot of naming convention stuck in my head.
Yeah.
In the herbalist shop, where you're holding quiet conversation and getting ready for the start of the day, well before anyone in the town is really moving or coming to a place like this for any needs or goods. When you begin to hear the sounds of this raucous chaos unfold in the streets. And it is Elsbeth whose eyes are facing towards the windows in the front of the shop that you see just these large dark blurs rush past. And then both of you hear, as somewhere not too far away, the sounds of breaking glass. With where you are, what are you thinking and what are you doing?
I'd be able to make a nature check regarding whether these are actually wolves, like whether we're being raided by an upset pack, or whether this is seeming more. Because you said lycanthropy is not something known, so it's not like we jumped to where...
it's known. It's just not common.
Oh.
Like, you don't see lichens casually existing anymore because they're so heavily hunted. And any lichen that is alive tends to try to keep that secret very, very close. But there were rumors that there was someone, one of the strangers that came to town recently, that was a lichen. And they were driven out of town very shortly thereafter.
Well, considering the shattering glass that I'm hearing, and it sounds like there might be either some form of riot or attack or something, I start slamming shutters and like locking up.
Okay.
Oh.
Going to windows, going to doors. Nessie?
I would definitely be assisting in that, but also trying to get a peek out and see if I can tell what it is.
All right, perception check.
Ooh. 22.
Wow. You sure all of you guys are level 1?
I rolled an 18. Leave me alone.
All right. So, as you see Elsbeth immediately get into action of going, well, I don't know what's going on, but we need to lock down the store first to make sure everything is safe here, and then we can go figure out what's happened. Well, when you go to one of the windows to begin mimicking her actions from the other one, right before you close it, right where you get the shutters to a peeking position and you're peering between this thin slit, you watch as across the road at the tanner shop, you watch as this large 7.5 foot tall fur covered body is just slamming into the door and eventually gets so frustrated, gives up, goes to the window and dives through the window.
We're not safe here.
No, I don't imagine we are.
Did you see them? There's lichens out there.
And she kind of gives you this look like, oh, really?
I don't know what else that could have been.
I mean, there's a back door. I don't know. Do we hear them from all sides or main thoroughfares or?
You hear sounds of individuals in a panic coming from everywhere. But you know, the main street is where everyone tends to travel. But you do have a back door to this place that takes you into the small set of walkways that connect all the homes back there.
I start grabbing some basic potions. I imagine whatever she'd have in stock. I know she can't take the whole stock, but kind of well, if I'm fleeing, what do I need? And she'd know where it is and like sweep them into a bag. So,
I mean, you can take what you can carry. Is really what this is pushing.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you have another set of hands.
I do.
I'm saying, remember, you know, this is a thing where it's just like, yeah, you guys can grab literally whatever you can stuff into a bag. You guys can literally rob the potion store.
Yep. Yeah. So it would be grabbing a handful of like, it would be level 1. There might be a couple level 2. I don't think there would be anything really big. And there might be like a poison resistance or something like that. I doubt where we have any fire resistance left after the fire. I think people probably get really panicky, bought them up. They're probably gone now.
Well, so let's hit the easy ones first.
Mm-hmm.
We have healing potions.
Yep.
For the level 1s, roll me a d8.
Okay. 3.
Okay. You will have 6 level 1 healing potions.
Okay.
And for level 2, roll me a d4.
Okay. 3.
Okay. And you will have 4 level 2.
Okay. So.
Let's see. What other fun potions we can quickly grab up that would make sense for you to have here in this kind of town.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I imagine. So it's funny. I kind of disagree with you. I don't think you guys would have had any potions of fire resistance, but I think there might have been a request for some to be made after what happened.
I wasn't sure how long ago it was, so I was like, maybe I just finished.
2 weeks. At least 10 days. So
that's why I was thinking they might have been out of the shop already.
So like the request would have come back. Like you would have been working on some. Mm-hmm. So let's say there are, you know what? Roll me another d4.
2.
Okay. There are 3 potions of climbing.
So 3 climbing.
Yep. Yeah. So we're gonna. So like I said, this is what I talked about earlier. We're gonna do this. You're like, oh well, I'm in a potion shop. I'm gonna grab an armful of stuff I think might be helpful. We're gonna generate a list of things that you and Kara can carry out of the potion shop with you because you go, oh, there's some bad stuff going down. I want to be prepared. In which case, Kara, roll me a d4.
4.
Oh, okay. You will have. This seems like so. You will have the option, if you want to take all of them, is whether or not it's up to you guys. 6 potions of animal friendship.
I will take all of them.
Honestly, now that I think about it, that one actually doesn't make it actually makes a decent amount of sense for them to be here in this town.
Yep.
Kara, roll me another d4.
Oh god. Believe it or not, that is another 4.
Okay, I believe it. Man, you guys are gonna be one of the people that people will want to see.
All our friends.
6 potions of growth. Anyone want to wrestle the werewolf?
Lithian would.
Soon.
Well,
Soon.
And last but not least, but since you are the herbalist, Elsbeth, roll me a d100. I'm gonna see if we can have any really, like, any odd potions pop up.
Why do we even have this potion?
Yeah, basically.
78.
Well then. And you know what? We'll actually we'll chalk this up to this was an experimental potion you've just been working on.
I don't know if this works, but I'm taking it with me.
Yeah, basically. Let's see. This potion is here. I feel like this one. I feel like it'll come in handy. Your experimental potion, Elsbeth, is a potion of gaseous form.
I wish more than one people could take this.
So please make note of this large inventory of potions you have.
Mm-hmm. And the inventory, what we just listed, is that things that could feasibly be thrown into a bag?
Yes.
No, potions are fairly small, right? This is actually what we managed to grab.
They are 1 ounce bottles. They're very small.
Okay.
Yep. Things to carry potions in, especially since we had an herbalist shop, would more or less be like leather bags with wood braces, wood supports, and then padded around them so you can just stack jars and carry them without having to worry about them you tripping and landing on it and breaking.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's all in the bag. And that's all I'd be really worried about grabbing.
Okay. That is what you managed to grab.
I was going to say, and I guess my herbalism kit, I think that's like grabbing my purse on the way out kind of thing.
Yeah, basically, yeah. The hook in the back of the store, your satchel with all of your goodies in it. Mm-hmm. Which, you will be capable if you decide you have reagents and various materials in your bags. You can try to make a unusual or relevant type of potion on the fly.
Yeah. And she'd also, while she's kind of like looking through the potions and grabbing what she needs, she would also turn to Nessie and just be like, grab what you want. You kind of know the shop, whatever you think we need.
Hang on. Let me go get my drugs PDF open.
Oh, this is my second character you need the drugs for.
Yes, but the first character is the one that provided this town all of the drugs.
Oh,
Indirect.
True.
But yeah.
That's awkward.
That is how that works.
This poor town has
Excuse me.
been affected by every single person.
Yeah,
or every
well-
single party so far.
More or less all of the drugs in my setting are funneled in from one particular person.
My
with the
mother.
exception of small amounts of from various places. Like, I'm sure this place has their own because they just locally grown mushrooms and people who need something to relax. But for the most part, drugs are largely controlled by one family in the setting. Oh yeah, and I've got lists of drugs and narcotics. Don't you worry.
I at least know one of them from a joke I made, so.
Okay. Well, you got all kinds of stuff on the shelves. What are you gonna grab? Just give me some general looking things, and I'll give you some ideas what they are.
General looking?
I don't know. Tell me what do you think, Tennessee, in that moment of quick grab what you think you want before we leave? Would you grab? Like, just think of effects, and we'll
Okay. I
workshop
thought you
them
were
together.
asking me to describe like leaves. I was
No.
like,
No, no.
Um,
Don't worry, I'll handle it.
she would grab like downers.
Okay.
Downers and probably like a couple of uppers, but downers with the attempt to try to, use them against the other things. But yeah.
Okay. So we have a couple of things here. We have some Bakarin. I'm just gonna write all these down in the chat. You know how fancy names get. Bakarin is made from these red rust-colored leaves. And they more or less can affect a creature's ability, their perception, their overall ability to hear, smell, and see. While the processed form is usually done in paste, and is administered in small doses to help with like migraines and headaches. This, if left in the leaf form and burned, could produce a smoke that might have the same effects.
Literally.
Then we have, to simply explain it, my settings version of weed, which is called herbish, which is what it sounds like. It's like herb, I-S-H, herbish. Which, other than causing people to have, an increased appetite, which maybe is not the thing you want.
We sell it to the bakeries.
Instead of like baked good smell in the air, that's what they do. They just have one of their chefs go back and toke up, and then people can buy all their goods early in the morning, right? That's what happens. Except, herbish, when used, can actually increase a creature's ability to focus. But it could have the side effect of making them clumsy. It really depends on how strong of a constitution they have. So there's a chance that if someone doesn't handle it well, it could be used to your advantage. And last but not least, because who doesn't need some hallucinogenic pocket sand? This is going to be some mushroom powder. It's this bright blue powder that is from dried mushrooms harvested from the nearby mountain that is ground down, and it weakens the physicality of individuals. And can cause mild hallucinations. Really great for literally throwing in someone's face to dissuade them from wanting to hurt you. I've put the three things that probably felt were good grabs in a quick moment. And very casual sidelong things of what they do. As you all are rushing around the store, sweeping shelves clean, grabbing what you want, it is when you both hear something break through a window on the second floor and with very heavy footfalls land on the floorboards above. And then there is this sound of panting and a creature taking deep inhales through their nostrils as you begin to hear it take very slow, deliberate footsteps moving through the upstairs room.
We'll look very wide-eyed at Elsbeth. Just like nod towards the door.
Yep.
Which door are you going to take, the front or the back? For the record, the stairs to the second floor is in the back of the store.
I still think the back might be safest. I guess which door did Tennessee indicate to?
Were we closer to the back or the front door?
You guys were shuttering up and then grabbing stuff. I mean, shuttering
We'd be
things up,
somewhere
you
in
would
the
have been at
middle
the
at
front.
this
But yeah, you'd be somewhere in the middle at this point.
Having previously noted the back door, probably the back door.
Okay. Are you going to try to rush out and slam the door behind you, or are you going to try to make your way out quiet?
I'm going to sneak.
Yeah.
All right. Stealth checks, please.
Yep. And I'm going to very quickly cast resistance on Tennessee for dexterity in case she bumps something. I'm assuming it would be dex that would be like your saving throw to catch it or to not do that.
We'll see.
you
And for the
saying
record, I don't think you have to specify. I think it's just a blanketing D4 to the next saving.
Oh, is it? I thought it was almost. I'll
double
just double
check.
check it quick.
She'll return a nice guidance to you.
Oh, to one saving throw of its
Yeah.
choice. Sorry, I thought you had to specify the
It's just a saving.
Okay,
Guidance
well,
is
then
specific.
you have resistance.
Well, actually, guidance is whatever you do. But yeah, so you both have a moment where you stop, look at each other, and then touch each other's shoulders. And Elsbeth casts resistance on Tennessee, and then Tennessee casts guidance on Elsbeth. It's really sweet.
Okay, and we're doing stealth. You said.
Yep.
Yeah. I have regret.
Yeah, I have nothing in this, so
I
where's-
rolled five total.
Oh boy,
Nice.
and I get a D4 to mine.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah.
I rolled a 13.
Oh,
Nice.
the average isn't the
Oh,
worst.
is that with the D4?
Druids? Yeah,
Okay.
rolled a 10 and a 3. Druids aren't stealthy. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, we're both druids. That's what I was
We are.
wondering.
She's a town druid, you're a nature druid. Sometimes you meet and you just kick things off, you know, it's just how it is. All right. You both begin very carefully making your way to the back of the store where Elsbeth gestures to the back door and the key that she's holding. And she creeps ahead very slowly. Both of you listening to the heavy footfalls and the creaking floorboards above, kind of following where this large creature is moving. Elsbeth, you get to the back door. It doesn't seem to be moving with any particular hurry or rush. Somewhere off in the distance, as you're fitting the key into the hole, you hear another scream. You turn, and you hear the mechanism very softly click, and you can push the door open.
Okay.
As you very
Was this-
carefully
Was the scream anywhere near the back door?
make a perception check.
Okay.
Let's find out.
I bet you she doesn't know. Because that's a 3 plus.
No.
No.
Plus 3.
Your heart pounding in your chest is filling your ears, and you just know it was somewhere, but not where exactly.
They say that you can take the wolf out of the forest, but you can't take the forest out of the wolf. Am I doing a perception check in the forest?
Technically, yeah. I mean, well, yeah. This is. I mean, yeah. It's it's a town, but it's built in a heavily wooded area. So actually, yeah, for forestborn, for forestborn human, yeah, sure.
I get advantage. Okay. Cool. That's modified 20.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good.
Glad I asked.
This scream is coming from the west of you, several doors down.
Okay, so we can still maybe get out.
About to find out.
Okay. Yeah, I will proceed then.
Begin slowly pushing open the door, checking to see if there's anything in this alleyway that you notice right away. When you feel like it's clear, you slowly step out, looking back to your compatriot, who's falling behind
there's
you.
Windows on the top floor out this way?
Yes, there are 2 windows on the top floor coming up.
Okay. I would probably also glance up, but
You don't notice anything. You don't notice anything. When you do step out into the alleyway and you look down the long stretch of walkway, you see down in the front of this house down here. You see where my purple ping is? You see what looks like the remains of one of the townsfolk. It is a butchered and bloodied body, dismantled into numerous pieces. The cobblestones red, the front of the house slick with blood. The door, you can tell, has been splintered and broken open. And from somewhere off in the distance, with that very nice perception check coming from that abode, it sounds like a starving wolf feeding.
I'm gonna cross to the other side of the door then.
And as you're encouraging Tennessee to catch up, it is when a unfortunate but mildly clumsy bump sends a jar beginning to roll off of one of the shelves. Tennessee, since Elsbeth was so nice to give this to you, I would normally make this a sleight of hand check, but let's make it a dexterity save. Everything is already stacked against you guys enough. I will give you every little D4 you can get.
My dex save is +1, but that's still a 19.
That's great.
And Elsbeth's just staring wide-eyed, like...
Yeah, you're watching as you see the jar rolling, and then Tennessee follows your eyes up to the jar, and just has a moment of, oh, and just reaches out and manages to catch it. And then they're still for a moment, and then that's when you just continue to hear the big footfalls slowly making their way towards the back corner of the store on the second level where the stairs are. And it is right as Tennessee makes it out of the door that Elsbeth, from your position, you see at the top of the stairs, the first 2 large, pawed feet of this creature coming down.
So, I guess I know this house well enough. When you cast a spell, does it have to be somewhere you can see?
It depends on the spell. Some spells say on an area or a creature you can see, and some just says at a point.
So, it's for Druidcraft, and I'm not seeing anything that says a location?
I suppose it depends on the effect.
So I wanted to create an effect of a scurrying animal, so like mice or something, upstairs to see if maybe it'll draw its attention.
Is this the first bullet point? You create a tiny harmless sensory effect? Nope.
No, it's the bottom bullet point. Oh yeah, I guess it is the top.
It's the third one. It's the third one.
Yeah.
Instantaneous harmless sensory effects such as falling leaves, a puff of wind, the sound of a small animal, or the faint odor of a skull. You could cast it. You could cast it at. You would have to cast this at a place you can see. So you could try to do it like at the upstairs window, because you're outside. So you could do it just from the outside.
Right.
You could do it at the top of the stairs.
Yeah, I'll do it at the top of the stairs, and if I can, make it sound like it's kind of running away. See if I can make him like turn around.
Yeah. What is your spell save DC?
That's a good question. 13.
Really? It's a what?
It's a 13.
Okay.
It's just modifier plus...
8 plus proficiency, so 10 plus whatever your wisdom mod is.
It's a 3, yep.
Okay, so 13. Okay. Well, let's see if this lichen coming down the stairs falls for this. You hear this hulking form stepping down on the wooden stairs that are groaning under its weight. And then suddenly it stops and it races back upstairs, and there's just this huge crashing sound as you're not sure what happened, but it ran back up at such a rapid pace, and then you just close the door and lock it again. And that's where we're going to stop with you for now. As we go over to Bree.
Hey,
Hi, welcome
I
to
thought of
the fun.
I thought of some details in between waiting for my turn.
Excellent.
Which is, probably they are a single child with a who, after conjuring, made sense as a woodworker because I have a hand axe, and know how to hold an axe, know how to use a hand axe. Kind of makes sense why they would have one.
Yeah, okay. Hand axe woodworker, checked out.
Also, I have a question. This is me being living in 21st century and not in a cold area, but like fireplaces, like go for the night, yeah, right? Always have a fireplace rolling when you're at home. Is that how it works?
Usually, so I was gonna say I don't know if CJ knows much about fireplaces.
There are two people in this room that will know much more about it than I will.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
I was gonna say I know I grew up with a wood furnace, which not quite the same as fireplace because it's a bit more enclosed. But usually, if you could put on a large enough log through the night, you can at least have the embers going. So probably when you woke up, you'd put on another log and kick the fire off again. And then Hargy can chime in if he has better knowledge than me.
Hargy.
Oh, I'm glad everyone just assumed it was me.
Come on.
I'm like,
Let's be real. Come on, Kyle.
And two knowledge people.
So yeah, it would really depend on your type of fireplace. Fireplaces in general, like the classic center room side of the wall fireplace, will not burn through the night. They have too much heat loss. They have too much airflow. They'll smoke themselves out. As far as they'll burn through it a lot quicker.
Would definitely
the wood burning, like a wood furnace, like something that's enclosed, that's like to heat a whole house. They'll last longer depending on size, and then wood burning stoves are a lot smaller, so you can keep them going through the night. But when you get into like an open face fireplace, I mean, you can burn through 6-7 logs before you go to sleep, and it'll be cold in the morning.
Good news is
that's at least been my experience. My apologies.
No,
I'm just saying whatever works in this environment and whatever we have. I don't know what a furnace looks like.
Wood burning in this place. It'd be a wood burning stove.
Yep.
It'd be more for survival. So it'd be kind of small, kept in a corner, vented to the outside, but it could last all night. It's D&D.
Yeah, I mean, and that's exactly how it is. I literally don't even need to add to it, because that was all my logic behind this town and the small abodes that most of these people live in. Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, it would be, tapering out by the end of the night, but nothing you couldn't recover from. It would keep you warm.
Okay, anything you want to say before I start saying what I'm thinking of doing?
Most of the time, if it's a big house, you have to actually put something in the middle of the night once.
I meant dire, but thank you for the information.
You're welcome.
I mean,
thank you both.
Talk to me. Wait, what do you got?
Oh, I think first thing would be, I guess, grab a hand axe and snuff out the furnace with prestidigitation.
Sure.
So no one any smoke that might say, hey, there's someone here, goes out. Be my notice, but Do I know these are werewolves for sure?
Well,
conclusion?
Make a perception check. Again, not really an easy conclusion that people would just jump to.
Yeah, I know it's like rumors help, but it's
Well, yeah, so they're on your mind, but you have no reason to think, oh man, there's a pack of lichens attacking us right now. That's a once a year occurrence.
Fair enough.
That's pretty good. As you were getting ready,
oh, that is pretty good. I rolled it to GM. Sorry about that, guys.
You were keeping close and low, not trying to move a whole lot, but when you were moving from place to place in your home, you were catching glances at windows. Initially, it was just these large, hulking, dark-moving shadows. And then, on the southern window, you peered from that window into your neighbor's home, and you watched as you saw, between curtains, this huge wolf-faced humanoid chomping on the mother and child in the neighboring abode to the south.
And then I knew I should have left before winter came. Right.
Damn city werewolves.
Probably would be safer in a big city than a small
Oh, absolutely.
small village.
In a fantasy setting, if you're in a small village, you're just cannon fodder for the narrative.
Gotta stand home. Alright, anything else besides that, or?
Where are you going? Are you grabbing anything?
I don't know how much I would know about, you know, silver and wolves, but I would grab
Make a
bunch
nature
of
check.
silverware. What?
Ma-
Check?
A nature check. Or an
I'd
arcana
probably-
check. Whatever floats your boat.
Kinda.
Okay.
I don't think the Archon would change because they're pretty good at they have like cooking proficiency, and they know they have a bunch of knives that are nice and stuff, so they probably take some.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if I would know if they were good against.
you know that there is most certainly something that lichens don't like silver. So it just makes sense that you go, well, I have some fine silverware that I use for certain occasions. Let's grab the knives or the forks. Anything with sharp edges.
Grab the knives, grab some silver pieces. Probably have a few. Not money, but like a few.
Yeah.
Saving
I mean,
up.
it could even be something as simple as literally grabbing anything that's silver based and going, well, maybe I can get to the blacksmith, and if he's there, he can use some of it to edge a blade or something to protect myself.
Yeah, I have a hand axe. Hand axes have steel. Yeah.
Not crazy. So, hand axe, silverware, silver coins, assuming a
Specifically
cloak.
Knives and forks.
hmm
If I can grab anything else, sure, but like
Well-
I'm prioritizing, of course.
Well, it's
I
a
know
matter
where they
of
are.
yeah. Well, it's a matter of how much time do you spend in your home, hearing that the longer time passes, the more sounds you're beginning to hear from all sides.
I'll try to carefully pick up the silverware so it doesn't jangle as much because sounds. So I guess a stealth check, maybe. is in order.
Stealth check is always good.
It's in a different. It's in a home and there's a lot of commotion, so that helps.
Yeah, that damn
This is
jangly
real.
silverware giving us away.
Fuck.
That damn jangly silverware giving us away.
I don't have proficiency. Not have anything else I can. Nope. All right.
All right. So, I guess the question is, are you going to try to sneak out of your abode?
I want to see what window. Well, probably away from that werewolf. But do I hear any noises coming from up north, or to Northern Street? I'm not sure if this is to north.
Yeah,
or
north,
whatever,
south, east,
but
west. Just assume every map is like that, unless I would say otherwise. That would be weird.
I'm not gonna get that complicated.
So looking around, I'm just gonna roll in from your previous perception check. You do hear, so you after again, you spent a couple of minutes gathering things, getting yourself ready, stealing your nerves, observing the just atrocity occurring in your neighbor's home to the south of you. And over that time period, you have heard a couple of like very pointed like incidents. A couple of which, to the north of you, you've heard several broken windows. To the south of you, including your neighbor's home, but also somewhere further along, you're not sure exactly where, but somewhere south, there were several screams that were punctuated and then that abruptly went silent. And then just in the greater distance of the town itself, several additional screams. But to the west of you, you have heard what sounded like the sounds of somebody trying to rally people and what sounded like fighting.
Okay, like type of off the map west.
No, like in town west, main street west.
Okay, so that main street. Okay. So basically, south is bad, left and right.
For better or worse, it's kind of everywhere.
Okay. Okay, so I shouldn't go left. I shouldn't go south. I only have a window up north, so I am going to use one of those sorcerer features that I picked up. I really did not know what kind of situation we were getting in, but
All the
I took the Astro Ghost Sorcerer. I'm gonna use Unworldly Ties to teleport myself outside without having to open a door. Because it does not say anything about a wall, but it does say I have to see.
Yeah, you have to just, as with all teleportation things, you just have to be able to see where you're going.
Yeah.
And that's usually good enough.
Yeah, so I'm going to teleport north right outside to the left, to the right, because, you know, stay away from the left because stuff's happening there. Probably make a small peek before
Small
that,
peek.
actually.
All right. This time I'll take a new perception check.
Small little peeksy, not a good
Little
peeksy.
peeky boy.
I'm getting the battle rolls here.
Yeah, well, so you glance out, you look up and down the alleyway. It looks clear. Do take into consideration the time dilation we're sort of experiencing. So Elsbeth and Tennessee are not out there yet.
Yeah, of course.
But you do see between the general goods store and the leather shop, there's a bunch of broken glass in between the two. Like something smashed out the windows on the second floors.
Well, unfortunately, I can't take chances of going south because there's a werewolf right there, and out the door would make a sound, so I still kind of have to do this little jump. Someone just put it. So I'll teleport out.
Okay.
I guess right outside the window, probably.
All right.
Should I move? Should I move it, or you want?
Yeah, if you can move it.
I can move it. What now?
When you emerge, it is when you see someone emerge from further down the alleyway, slowly creeping a little bit further to the west to avoid the straight shot of the road just there. And then someone, blonde-haired, little tinges of green, stumbling out of the back door as you see them close the door behind them, and you hear what just is this huge crashing sound coming up from the second story. And before you, you see Elsbeth and Tennessee. Now, for the record, you guys, when your characters meet, you're either free to assume a previous relation, as in you've met and interacted on some level, or casual acquaintances like you've seen them around town. But you guys almost certainly all know of each other on some level. It's a small town, less than 200 people. You at least know each other by sight. But before we get into the thick of this, which is because now we're going to start getting into the stuff, we're going to take our first break there. Just so we can kind of walk around and shake all the loosey-goosey tension out, and then we're going to come back in like, I don't know, like 45 past, between 5 and 7 minutes, and then we're gonna get into the good stuff.
Can you guys write your names down in the chat or something so I can like have that name as a reference? Because I didn't put it in my thing. I'm gonna put it in my thing now, my display name, because I don't know names by heart. Don't want to get a mistake.
Player name or character name?
Character name, because we're probably gonna talk. I can look up Discord for person name.
That's
Well,
right.
kinda. I actually don't know who.
Who is Kara?
Oh,
Oh,
man,
wait.
you know what?
Oh wait, your name's right there. Okay, well I. Right.
I make
alright.
phone calls for a living, and I get Carol, Karen,
Oof.
Karen, all
I wanna
sorts
be
of fun
Karen.
stuff.
I mean, if your
Yeah,
name
no.
just starts with K-A, I think you're just doomed. Like, there's so
Yeah,
much of
pretty-
variation.
I love when they ask me to, what my name is, and I have to spell it, and they go, "Oh, I thought you said Carol," and I'm like, "No, I did not.
That's
There was
not
no
what I
L on the end of
spelled.
that."
My name thing is I'm surprised everyone knows what my last name is, considering A, it's Spanish but it's uncommon, and B, my accent butchers it a bit. So the fact that people get it and read it correctly, I'm just like, huh. I mean, it's easier in Spanish because words sound like letters, but
That's it. I'm gonna be right back.
I know, I know what you mean.
probably I'm just gonna play in the dark because I'm going to bed right after this. I should probably brush my teeth on this break. That's a good idea. I have a 10-hour shift tomorrow, starting at 11, so
Oh no.
it's okay because then Sunday is off, and then Monday, who knows, and then Tuesday it's off because it's D&D, and we're gonna suffer with consequences like this. Literally this. This is our consequence.
I am back.
We're about to head into like frozen wasteland with like anti-magic fields. So yeah, I feel that.
Sounds
don't-
dope.
I mean, I don't know how much is spoilers of what the bullshit that's happened that will bother you. Although I heard that someone here is a bit sensitive with a being we have in our possession. Just looks at Kayla right there.
Yeah, I just love that this is, I'm a villain. I continue to be painted as a villain, and it's fantastic.
You kind of killed a bunch of people.
Yeah, point?
It deserved.
Do you have less control over your lycanthropy?
No, I'm the person who burnt down the logging camp.
Yeah. And the other person, who's the werewolf, is the one who brought this plague by reviving another character.
Yeah, so the campaign started off by me
shit.
burning down a logging camp.
Yep. Awesome.
That's how the party all got to be in this village. And so everyone like, oh yeah, that's I'm the one who burned everything down. Our other player is the one who resurrected the son of the Duke of this duchy with lycanthropy.
That was the howl, by the way.
And now this is happening to the town.
Because the beast is like, hey, what's the deal with the thing that's just hitting our campaign pretty hard?
Yeah. No, this is definitely the consequence of an action.
A big action. It was get 100, revive, profit.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Oh, now we have 2 werewolves also.
Pretty sure pretty sure we'll be able to survive this. I'm hoping so, at least. We'll see how the dice favor us, but this will be exciting.
I mean, like the goal is just to get out of town, right?
I don't know.
That's what we're
I
trying
think,
to do.
yeah, I think so. Which, like, I'm pretty close. I could just dip right now.
I got like 3 more busts of my teleportation. It's kind of dumb.
I mean, guidance is a cantrip, so.
I love guidance. I'm going to go brush my teeth and stuff.
I have to figure out how far it is to get to y'all. I'm not going that way. That's dumb. Where would I go? No, I don't want to go that way.
CJ is very good at not railroading, but I also think that he'll find a way to push us together too.
I need to go this way. I need to get into the blacksmith, but it's spooky. I'm not a fan of it. I need more detail on what the workers' quarters are. Those like lumber workers? Are those like artisans? Are those...
I would assume lumber.
want to avoid storage, want to avoid guard barracks, want to avoid general goods. Definitely avoid the Tipsy Ram. Most likely avoid the town hall.
I just really hope I get a chance to throw mushroom powder in the face of one of these things. That's my only goal.
I mean, I think the four of us might be able to subdue one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Because chose the Hunter's Lodge to try and snag a silvered weapon because they hunt lichens. I'm really hoping I can talk him into allowing there being a silvered hunting trap in the building.
You know it's gonna be a roll for it.
Oh, I know. Silvered arrows or a silver hunting trap. And that's why it's either going to be here in the Hunter's Lodge or it's going to be in the blacksmith.
Pick your best percentile dice for that one.
I've got 2 sets.
And they both love him.
Oh, hey, you're back.
Hi, I am.
They do both love me.
Like I said, yeah, so Kyle's like the Ben equivalent, where it's just like the Kenna dice really love Kenna.
I really love that the Kyles have opposite rolls. On
They
the
do. Like diametric, completely opposed opposites. It's outrageous. Other Kyle is just like, his average is a 40 if he's lucky. Otherwise, it's like a 10.
Oh no! I just know the moment I roll below a 10, but no, we're really, really boned. I've rolled so high that when I fall from grace, I feel like it's going to be like compounded consequence, not just like, oh, a consequence.
Well, I mean, it really depends on everything that's been happening. But you know, it could be just like my other game on Wednesday.
Oh, see,
Dawn
this is why I don't
rolled a
roll
1.
when I don't need to, because I just rolled a 1. I'm gonna put those to the side and
You should. That's probably smart.
let those sit. Let me. Okay, they went up. It's a little better.
Yeah. Like Dawn rolled a 1. My first
rolled a
one
19.
since I
Oh,
sent
20.
since I sent my party to Barovia a while ago. And
Oof, are
like
they
the
going to be
campaign's
looking
only
at them?
on session 7 now. So like
He rolled a.
yeah, he rolled a 1.
So
But
what
there
did
wasn't
you do?
like
What did you do?
Let them get there.
nothing. He didn't do anything. Like it was the end. It was the end of it. It was the end. Actually, no, it wasn't the end of Daily Dice. It was in the middle of a combat encounter, and he wanted the trap he set up to go really well. And he used the fate dice for the day to roll, and he got a 1. So the trap backfired in just an absolutely spectacular fashion, which is a shame because he spent the whole session before creating this super complicated Home Alone style like fragmentation grenade from a hooded lantern, flask of oil, alchemist fire, and then ball bearings that he filled into a jar and taped it to. Like, it was ridiculous. And it was attached to a thing that was going to swing down from the door and hit the creature in the face when it opened it, except the creature saw it coming, sidestepped, it swung back, and as the momentum was going back, it cut the string and it threw it towards him and the person there that were hiding under the bed. And that was just the first of it going terribly wrong for them. He's just had nothing but bad luck ever since then, and just from his own rolls, which is very funny. So the narrative has just been torturing him, but I have other things that have happened behind the scenes that he hasn't discovered yet that have also gone really wrong.
What?
Ah. Nice.
Yeah,
So.
so that's how
Oh,
that be.
I mean, we have it worse. We have long-term consequences have begun.
Well, I mean, he does too.
What?
Oh, trust me, that one's gonna haunt him for a while.
Oh, great. We have 100. We got a fucking 100 that's 180 something that's haunting us.
Well, yeah, so the problem is, like, so this is funny. this whole one shot's on the
What
premise.
happens when you pray at a high god?
Yeah, but see,
Yeah.
this is off the back of a 100 roll, not a
Yep.
1. Like, and so when you think about that, you go, well, this is kind of weird. But it's
No, not
because
at all.
evil
It
gods,
isn't.
they don't really care about people. Let's be
Especially
honest.
this one.
It's also a war between an evil god and another entity that's trying to fight him for his portfolio piece. So he's not really happy about it. You know?
What? That's a deep.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like, if the beasts are the gods of plague and pestilence, and this thing's just like, well, I guess I'm gonna be a plague now. And as you've seen in the narrative with Gwen, it doesn't like it, so it's here fighting it, which means it didn't do it, which means they're at odds. So yeah, welcome to a little bit of a explore.
Well,
bit
I
of
mean,
a-
you have to remember, you've got the I've taken a nap for a couple centuries moon god that's just rolling around in
More than a couple
Nikolai's skull.
centuries. Heck,
Nikolai's head.
Mhm.
You know,
Oh yeah, you guys got
that boy's been
so
gone. I
much
don't know
stuff.
how long.
Whew.
And
You
it
guys-
sucks.
let's
I'm-
continue.
Yeah, we're here.
We get
Everyone
some
here?
meteor? No.
Yep.
You're on the wrong campaign if you want
that
some meteors. Kayla, are you back?
Soon.
Kayla.
I am.
Making sure. I know you were doing things. Just wanted to make sure you were. Okay. Well, prior to the first meetup, we're gonna go back to a situation that seems a bit more tense. Back at the Hunter's Lodge, where Ervius is currently tucked up behind a rack of furs, as these hunters are surrounding their friend that is transforming into this hulking, nasty, just half wolf, half man. And it doesn't take long for their attempts to speak to it, assure him anything, that it goes very poorly. That this creature just immediately begins whirling on them with long, extended claws, ripping away pieces of flesh and hide and armor. And they begin just absolutely scurrying to draw weapons to try to defend themselves. While you watch this melee unfold, what are you doing?
They seem pretty focused. It seems pretty focused on those trying to fight it.
Oh yeah.
How close is the stairs to me?
Let's see, they're not on the map, but I know exactly.
No.
20 feet away.
Just cool. Other side. All right, on the back. All right.
Yeah.
So Hunter's Lodge, right? I'm assuming the Hunter's Lodge is not where all the hunters sleep and live, but more of where they gathered to conduct business or to plan hunts or to, you know, store supplies that they would use specifically.
Correct.
Is with the history being that the hunters are actually that lichens usually get hunted, and you know they just had a lichen roll through. Would the hunters have any silvered equipment now with a suspicion in the nearby area in the Hunter's Lodge? And would one of those equipment be a silvered hunting trap?
Because these are more fun ways to determine things. Roll me a D100.
Whoever said I needed my fate dice, you were correct.
Rate your own
That
fate.
was me. I'm a CJ.
Let's go with a third set. Let's pick a different set.
Oh, and we just pull out the third set out of nowhere.
Yeah, we'll do blood. We'll do blood red, and black.
Mm-hmm. Seems right. Seems right.
Yeah, I have superstition about mixing colors with events.
It'll serve you well.
Is it D10?
Mm.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
Is it shaped like a top?
Well, yes. 78.
Okay. Well, enough rumors definitely circulated along with the fact that somebody from the capital was responsible for driving the Lycan out, and came around and spoke to the captain, and the captain eventually came around to all of those capable and warned them just in case to have the blacksmith prepare a handful of silvered armaments. They were predominantly distributed to the guards, but the hunters, with a little bit of their own money, had some arrows silvered, and 2 hunting traps were also made, along with 3 short swords. You don't know exactly where they are, but you definitely know that they happen. You caught an offhanded conversation one day about them going, the order's almost finished. You know, we're gonna go have Ulfric go pick it up.
Okay. All right. With a glance around, would I see any equipment down here besides like clothing and seating? Or could I assume that they were upstairs?
Well, so yeah, downstairs, like I said, it's basically a big open lodge area.
Okay.
It's a lot. It's a lot for like relaxation. Like I said, they were sitting around a large round table where they were playing cards prior to all this hubbub happening. And any equipment or gear that's down here is usually what belongs to the hunters prior to them either having from them returning and hanging it up before they head off, or getting it ready before they leave.
Okay.
So yes, there is some equipment around belonging to the hunters that are here, but the rest of the equipment is upstairs. Consider it the hunter ready room.
Unknowing of what will unfold on the other side of my fur rack hiding place, I would like to I don't know if anyone's upstairs.
Could be a whole other wharf. Could also be a bunch of guys arming themselves to come down here and stab this one to death. You don't know.
I don't know. I'm gonna make a move for it.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my 30 feet of movement when I get to the stairs. And
okay.
I guess I don't know how big the staircase is. I don't know if this is like a 10-foot story or not, but I would like to go upstairs.
It will consume all 30 feet of your movement to get to the second floor.
Okay. Upon getting to the second floor, what do I see before I use another action?
Like I said, the second floor of the Hunter's Lodge is a bit smaller than the first floor. In the middle, there's a long wooden table. On the left side, 3 tall cabinets. On the far wall is another small table that's pushed up against it, where you can tell there was someone that was doing maintenance on a bow, along with several bow staffs that are sort of left leaning in a gathered basket, like a tall wicker basket. All the equipment for caring for and stringing bows, along with on the right side several hooks that are accommodating about a dozen or so quivers of arrows. And on the right side, there are a couple of, tall, open like chests. Well, they're not open, but tall chests. They're on 4 legs.
Can I use whatever else I have left to search for silvered equipment?
You can
favoring the arrows over the traps, but really want the traps.
Okay. You can make an investigation check.
Okay. What's my investigation? I did take proficiency in it. +2. It is an 11 +2 for a 13.
Okay. So you're kind of at the end of your movement, so you're just kind of creeping into the second story, very carefully observing everything. It is worth noting, just to double check and make sure everyone's on the same page, there is no one else up here. It was just the 4 hunters that were down below that were the ones that were present for today. Looking around, there's no easy way to tell where the traps might be or where the weapons are, given that everything else is it's just enclosed. So until you get a chance to get close enough to rummage through, the respective storage containers, you're not certain. But on the far wall where the quivers are hanging, you can tell there are 3 quivers of arrows that are trimmed trimmed in a little silver band at the top, and the fletchings are different on the arrows, and you think those denote your silver arrows.
Okay, that's all I got.
Okay.
I'm assuming I can't.
Well, I mean,
I would say the investigation is my action, isn't it? I wouldn't be able to dash.
Yeah, you don't have cunning action yet, so no.
Nope. Okay.
Which is to say, like I said, we're kind of just doing like rough combat, actions to keep track of what's happening down below.
Yeah. I would say if I could, not really moving, but just like shifting to against the wall, so I'm not standing at the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
That'd be it.
Move you there, so you're basically just up there. You're pressed up against the wall on the second floor. But from the top of the stairs, where you're just sort of now creeping around the corner, you hear the commotion down below of the 3 hunters fighting with this creature. And down below at the bottom of the stairs, you basically see just the edges of one of the hunters get thrown across the room. Part of the glass breaks and they fall to the ground. And you hear just the other 2 shouting, and then one of them, it begins from shouting to gurgling. And you're pretty confident you're hearing what is the final moments of one of these hunters. Mm-hmm. We're gonna sit on you for a small moment. So, what are you doing now? You're hearing this commotion. It doesn't sound like the hunters are doing well.
Going to try and light step over to the arrows at least.
Okay. You haven't really broken your stealth yet, so we're gonna just hang on to that 20 you rolled in the beginning.
Okay.
You can make your way across the room.
You're gonna grab a quiver and just sling it.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
and even just a quick pull check, you can tell that these are in fact silvered arrows.
I'll even because he has a quiver, so I'll even put my regular ones down. Just swap them out. Just quiver for quiver.
All right.
Because I can't. I'm not running with 3 quivers on my back. That's
it seems
unwieldy.
unnecessary. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll do 30 arrows for 30 arrows. Just swap them out to the silver. And then
the quivers, the silver ones are they're 20.
20. Okay. So maybe that's normal quivers too. I don't know. I don't play rogues.
Well, yes. Normal quivers are 20.
Okay, so 20 for 20, and then we'll look for the traps.
Okay. Make another investigation check.
Okay. Yikes.
That doesn't sound good.
Not that good. It's a 7 plus, what was it, a 2?
2.
That's a 9.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, you just start working your way through things. You go to the far side where the tall cabinets are. You open up the first set, and inside are just long drawers, and you just start pulling through these, looking for the ones that could adequately house a trap. And it's just time consuming, is what the problem is.
Yeah.
And it's in this moment again. You continue to hear the scuffle unfolding down below, but then you hear somebody begin to clamber up the stairs. And when you glance over, so don't worry, I'm going to move you over here, but this is about your approximate position up on the second floor.
Okay.
You watch as this hunter comes just like literally on all fours, like hands first, feet just like pushing himself up the stairs in a hurry, trying to get the grips on himself, and just finally lands up there, and he's looking around and he sees you. You need to get out of here. This isn't going to end well. Just get out of the lodge, find anybody who can, and run into the woods. It'll probably be safer than being in town.
I'm over there in that corner. Are any of those silvered swords near me?
No. There are no open weapons. Everything seems to be stored.
Oh, I just knew. The only thing that was on racks was quivers. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll just nod in silence. I don't want to break my stealth.
Okay.
I'm trying to be so. Just nods quietly. And yeah, I mean, can I do anything still? What? I don't know how loose we're rolling here.
Yeah, it's kind of loosey goosey. Just
Okay.
Downstairs is kind of going at it a certain way.
Are these windows on the second story too, or no?
They are. Yeah, there are. The person that built this place really likes their son.
There's windows right here, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Do they open at all?
The second story actually does.
Okay. The first thought that goes to Urvius' head is he takes it and he goes, "Oh, I can't go back downstairs. I would like to see if I can open a window and tie a rope to the window."
Sure, doable.
I guess it would have to open 2 windows to tie a rope around the center window frame.
Mm-hmm.
To do that. So I have a 50-foot rope on me.
Yeah. As you get your rope out and you begin doing the knot, this hunter clambers up, sees your attack, silence, moving very deliberately, not trying to draw attention to yourself. Comes to the better part of his senses, realizing he should probably also shut up. And then he goes over to the first cabinet of the 3 on this one side, and you see him swing open the doors, and he pulls open a drawer near the bottom, and you see there are just there's a row of short swords, and he just grabs a pair, looks at you, blood just trickling down the side of his face, takes a deep breath, and then you see him run back down the stairs with both blades.
Okay. If I can, I'm gonna Indiana Jones out the window. I'm just gonna slide down the rope.
Make a athletic or wow. Let me try that again. Make an athletics or an acrobatics check.
Acrobatics.
What are you, a rogue?
No, not at all. 14 total.
Okay. Yeah, easy enough to do. The rope is well secured. The drop is not that far. You've got more than enough rope. And you make your way down, observing as you get to the bottom through the windows, as this creature has the other hunter that was down there by himself slammed up against the table and just raising up the claw as you watch the gentleman you just watched run down the stairs from the side tackle this thing on the side with both of those weapons. And you just watch as it goes to the floor, and this scuffle just gets even more manic.
Would I have known this hunter?
You'd be pretty familiar with all of these guys.
Gerald was a true hero.
He gets a name tag.
What?
I said he gets a name tag now.
Yes. If I get out of this, he gets a nice little write-up and a gravestone. All right. Yeah, I'll just hit the ground. So, the quick little description, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
There's a cloak, or not like a cloak, but just a normal covering that Urvius would use.
Mm-hmm.
He's not really the assassinating, thieving kind of rogue. He's more just the swift and skilled with tying knots kind of. So sleight of hand and can stealth and sneak. He uses it for bow hunting and bow fishing, really. But doing that, he also, uses survival and naturalism to stalk around the woods and into the mountains. So what he has done is over the last about year and a half or so, he got the idea of really trying to blend in, and so he's worked to try and make a simple but color matching, what I would say, ghillie suit.
Right.
Which is what lends to him being sneaky. Is there snow on the ground? Because the colors for this are a mix of grays and whites.
Yeah.
There is snow on the ground?
There is snow on the ground.
Okay.
There hasn't been a ton of fresh snowfall in the last day or two, but it's been snowing pretty regularly.
Okay.
Pardon my severe lack of snow. I hadn't even thought about it.
That's fine. I mean, this is lower in the range. So for the winter, coming out of the winter, he's got the gray and white one on, and he'll kind of try to land softly in the snow and kind of go to a half prone before running. He's just gonna kind of sit still for a second and try to see what's around him before he goes to move into town.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Throws the dice. Well, I rolled a 12. I don't know what my thing is.
+4, I think.
Yes, it is 16.
Okay. So you watch, carefully landing, hearing the scrap going on behind you, but knowing that certainly re-entering is probably going to mean death. From your position, you observe to the west of you, through the gaps of the homes, you see several of these large hulking figures quickly just sort of running by. Past the houses onto the main street, you see one of them dragging two bodies behind them towards the center of town. Just bloody and unmoving. So the west seems pretty hostile. And then you're watching on this leg through the back of all these businesses here, you watch as breaking through this door and dragging out with him what looks like someone that is just actually kicking and screaming. This lichen dragging what looks like a woman. Again, you guys all more or less know everyone else in this town. Even if you're not friends, you're at least casual acquaintances. This is Harriet, the daughter of the tanner. She's in her mid-20s, has been helping her father run the store, local family. And she's just kicking and screaming and scratching and clawing at this thing's hands, which just has this huge clawed hand just wrapped through her thick hair and is just dragging her along. And it's like the lichen itself is caked in blood. Like its claws, its muzzle running down its front. It's just a complete red crimson mess, and it's just dragging her along, slowly heading in this direction.
Slowly heading through the field.
West.
Okay, through that way. Cool. Okay. Well, that's not what I didn't want to do another strike. I'm just making marks to keep track of where things are going.
Mm-hmm.
I will delete them when.
As necessary.
Okay. Okay.
As necessary.
All right. I'm gonna leave my rope attached and not worry about it, so I will get that out of my equipment for now. No rope.
Oh.
Okay. I guess if I still have things I can do, I would try to let everything settle real quick around, and then I would try to low move to the blacksmith.
How long of a period of time do you take to let things settle?
Well, there's a fight going on right behind me, so not too terribly long.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So it kind of lands and lets he sees them fighting. He sees the lady get dragged. He wants to wait until the lichen drags her towards those buildings. Initially, when this guy's line of sight can't look sideways, so when he's like right here or so.
Okay. Yeah, it won't take him very long.
Yeah.
He's marching in a straight line.
View, so as soon as he kind of makes sure that in order to be seen he would have to turn around is when I would start making my way.
Okay. Well, you will be granted your opportunity in only a few short seconds.
That's fine.
Now, are you sprinting across this field, or are you going to try to move slowly and quietly?
Slow crouch.
Okay. Stealth check then. See if your luck holds out.
Could be better. I rolled a 13, so 14, 15, 17.
That's still not bad.
Really noticing I should have taken expertise in stealth and not survival. Those are the eyebrow movements of somebody who just got noticed.
No, actually. So, you begin your stalking across the field slowly, moving very deliberately. Keeping low to the snow, using your put together cloak as best as you can to blend in. And it's through these very slow, deliberate movements that your passive perception of 14 reveals to you a couple of other things. You see in the window of one of these homes, absolutely brutalizing someone out of sight, another lichen. And then up on the second story of the building adjacent to the blacksmith, what looks like a lichen hunting for someone, very clearly on someone's scent, is another creature. You see them sort of stop in front of the windows and just is like very deliberately sniffing, and they keep looking over their shoulder and checking. And you see them throw over like a wardrobe, trying to find something or somebody.
Okay. It's not like they're staring out of the window. I can just see them looking for things
Yes,
inside the buildings.
yeah. You're catching glances of these things moving around and doing things. So we can move you your 30 feet. And before we get you any further, is when we cut on over to these good people over here. Elsbeth, Tennessee, you've managed to squeeze your way out as you hear this just crash and fumble of the lichen upstairs, certain that they were going to find something. When you close the door behind you, Elsbeth locks it, and then as you're sort of like backs up against the wall trying to gather yourselves, is when you notice that down the street is a not too unfamiliar face.
I probably run supply runs through the herbalist, so probably definitely not so unfamiliar.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Elspeth will probably like kind of look over, give a rapid wave of the hand, not wanting to say anything, but being like, "Hi." And would I know the fastest way out of town?
Usually getting to the main roads and then just
Without that.
well, I mean, heading to the outskirts and then just trying to find your way out. It really depends on where you're trying to go.
Is this a walled city, I guess?
It is not.
Okay.
There is a fence. There's like a small wooden palisade fence around it. But it isn't like huge. It's not a wall that can be manned.
Okay.
I think Bree would see you guys and point like backwards, looking at them, and to their right, which is below, and just like nod their head like it's dangerous back there. No.
Yeah, and I guess in same, kind of pointing back to the other main road, and like, yeah, kind of like our movements, shaking the head, being like, no, not that. So I guess east.
So
Rolled that as usual.
So the important thing here is, and I've been sitting on this on purpose, but this is the hook that keeps you guys, for better or worse, in the village for a brief more period of time, which is,
Okay.
I want all three of you to roll me a d4.
Oh boy.
So
This
it's when
thing
you roll
can
to
do
find out how
anything
many
but-
acquaintances you have in this village that are about to get killed.
2.
That guy, he gets me.
Boom. I get you. I love it.
Oh,
Do I need to roll one?
Yeah, you will. So you might as well now.
Okay.
I apparently cannot roll anything on this thing but 4, so.
Oh no.
When it matters, I got a 2.
Me
Alright.
too.
All right. So real quick,
Oh
2,
god.
4, 1. I'm sorry, Kayla. Would you roll?
2.
All right. And as the magnanimous man Kyle has so cleverly deduced, I've been emphasizing something this whole game, which is this is a town of people where you know everyone. You've spent a lot of time with someone or another, family, friends, coworkers, and you've developed relationships here. If you were to just turn and run now, it would almost be certain that those people are going to be left to their deaths. Now, that is to say, if that is what your character decides to do, you can have them take a more or less safe route out of the village and begin to flee. Now, there will be some checks involved to see how far you get or if something finds you. But in doing so, the people that they know in this village will almost certainly be doomed. And the player, whose character does flee, will be asked to stop playing. It's as simple as that. So, with that in mind, and of course I'm not going to randomly generate lives and backstories for the 9 NPCs that you all now have some sort of ties with, but as relevant, we will have names and a little bit of backstory as they come up. But you have reason to want to find these people because you care about them. With that in mind, now.
I guess my uncle would have had a wife and others. Apparently a child.
And a cousin.
So 1 per the dice roll, basically.
Yeah, for whatever number you rolled, that's how many acquaintances you have.
So I got 1 and everyone else has 2. Alright, got it.
No, I have 4.
Yep.
Oh,
and
have fun.
Vanessa has 4.
And PC connections don't count.
We
So now-
discussing it now?
Yes. So like we're not discussing NPCs. You guys, as I originally described at the beginning of this, well, as necessary, name a character, describe what they might be or what they're doing as it comes up in the narrative. So if you have to talk about your Uncle John, well, poof, he exists.
You know, I made up 2 already, so I'm good, but I'm really upset because initially what I was thinking is the person you just dragged off to get killed was one of them.
Gavin F in the chat.
Well, you could, and we don't know if they're dead yet. She's still
Because
alive. That's something.
The tanner and the leather shop are his
You know he's a
locations of
feisty
interest,
boy.
and you just dragged the daughter off from the tanner, so...
With some grim foreshadowing as to what happened to the father.
Yeah. So I decided to make 2 other ones.
What do you mean? You're not going to go on a suicide mission to try to save her from the lichen that's dragging her down the street?
I'm not playing a large Leonin right now, so no.
Fair. Okay. Now, we've established that the 3 of you caught up in this alleyway. Sounds of panic, screams of terror, the unnatural and revolting sounds of creatures feeding echoing all around you. And somewhere, off in the distance to the west, some group of people fighting. What are you doing? Remember your friends and family. Or don't and leave.
Vanessa would have been getting Nathaniel to the school right about now.
I think it's really
Ooh.
easy for me to say, like, oh yeah, the parent that was nearby. But in the narrative of they've been, like, preparing to leave town for a while, the idea of, like, I already know I'm gonna lose, like, all my friends and everyone I know here. But there's also the person I live here with, and, you know, I need to make sure they're okay. Like, I guess saying, okay, everyone else who's across town might be dead, but, like, this person is right here, and if I know they're dead, I know I have to move, and if they are alive, I guess I can take them with me. So they might want to head back and just check the woodworking shop and such.
Hmm.
There's a window, so...
Well, the 3 of you are here. You guys have to figure it out. What are you doing?
So crazy how I have...
Cutter's building, Hargy. Cutter's building.
Hmm? It's crazy that I happen to have parents and twin brothers. How convenient. That they live in the city or in the town.
Okay, Vixel.
Mm. Hey, I'm not the twin.
Oh.
Well, I can't leave without my... If they're still okay, can't leave without them or...
Where would they be?
It's a really great question.
What do they do? What are the ages of your brothers?
They're pretty young. They're in the like 7-8-year-old range.
They might be in the school with Nathaniel then.
There is
I
a
mean,
small public school in this town where, public school, it's a single building where they have someone come and teach, kids.
crazy. My mom's a teacher. What?
Well then.
Hey, 6 people in one building. Let's do it.
Yes. But what does the father do?
Oh,
Where would he
he's
be?
one of the woodworkers.
Oh, that's convenient.
Little laborer peoples. Yeah.
Okay, so if he is let's casually refer to them as a lumberjack, a woodworker, someone that goes to the lumber camps.
Thank you.
Let's simply ask the question: was he on shift or off shift? Essentially, there are several lumber camps around the town, and between all of the people strong enough to work the camps, they have rotating groups of people that go to different camps at different times, so that way everyone can at the very least rest well enough to keep working. So is he on shift or off shift? Because if he's off shift, he's in town. If he's on shift, he's at a camp.
I would say he would be on shift so that he would be home with when she's not working.
To roll for it.
Or make me roll for it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, like I said, that's you can roll for it if you want. I'm not gonna make you. That's not what that's not what I said when we were beginning this game. You decide what you think is best for the narrative. Is Papa home or is he away?
I would say that he's away.
Okay.
Who knows what that means for him?
Who knows? Maybe he was due back today.
Say, as far as you know, he's away.
Yep, that's probably the best way to put it. As far as you know, he's not in town. But you're supposed to be coming back home sometime soon. You don't know. Right. Discuss. Where are you guys going?
So sorry, my understanding correctly that Bree's family is already with her, or no?
Just Bree.
I think we would have
With them.
made our way over there at this point.
I would assume so. Unless you guys are just hand signaling like violently from across the alleyway.
Made over where?
We
Where I am?
Near
yeah,
each other.
Come to you, or if you meet us halfway, something like that.
Probably stay where I am because I wanted to go check the woodworkers building.
Well, school is on the way.
I've officially named where the school is, by the way, because I didn't think about school when I was leveling the relevant buildings in town.
We can get to both of them, between them.
I won't be able to help fight, but we can get the children out.
Is it really so pressing? There's a fight going on south. Probably won't end well. Are you willing to risk getting seen?
Well, then we go north and east.
I need to check on... I forgot if I said dad or mom earlier. I was thinking dad, and I was like, no, mom, and I'm not even sure what I said. I want to say mom now. They can be both genders if they want to. Heck, yeah.
Why not? One person can be both of your parents, depending upon the day.
I need to check my mom. I need to know if they're alive, or I should just leave.
I think we're all in the same situation. And we stand a chance.
Let us make haste then.
As you guys are discussing, somewhere not very far away, you sound like what is two animals fighting. Large forms being hit, smashed up against nearby buildings, and something being ripped to shreds, clothes tearing in the process. And then, much to your dismay, you hear a and come rolling out of this alleyway is a severed head. The head of one of the numerous lumber workers who is off shift. Someone who, again, you all recognize at least, despite the mildly grotesque form in which he's arrived. This is, for better or worse, Garrett, one of your neighbors.
We need to go now.
Fast and quick. Or fast and quiet. There we go.
Yeah, I'll start kind of inching as we move. To the left, I suppose.
Stealth checks, please.
Oh boy, guidance. I'm gonna guide myself on this one.
13.
Oh, I forgot.
You did not see me roll a 2, but I rolled a 2.
I saw it.
Yeah, I mean everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
I also rolled something else wrong, but that's...
What was that, Tennessee?
13.
13.
Better this.
Man, you and Elsbeth are really just like besties.
Apparently.
Ride together, die together?
Stop.
Is that, I'm sorry, is that how that goes? Alright. You begin creeping down the alleyway, heading towards the word worker shop. On the way, Bree has a need to see if someone's there. I want all three of you to roll me a d20. No modifiers, just a plain old d20 roll.
4.
19.
Oh boy.
Bridge 11.
Why would you do this?
Why would you do this?
Okay. You guys are moving down the alley. Quietly. It is when you move past the leather shop. You knew there were broken windows. We saw them. You heard them earlier as something was smashing them out. But because of the adrenaline pumping through your systems and paying attention to where these monsters are is so important, Bree misses a large shard of glass that they step on. And it breaks. And almost immediately, in reaction, it seems as if a creature bounds around this corner and stares down the long way, spotting Bree first, and then its eyes catching both of you. And it bares both of its clawed hands, and it just lets out a vicious snarl, and then, like an animal, it begins to run forward on all fours. It's beginning to bear down on you. What do you do?
So, how far away is it, and how fast is it moving?
It is currently 45 feet away from the three of you.
Okay.
You can make me either... again, I like weird rolls. Make a perception intelligence check.
Sure.
This is you watching its movement and trying to gauge how quickly it can move.
Intelligence.
I think
10.
It's difficult to gauge the exact speed in which it's moving. But it's not overly fast. These creatures are pretty large. You think in a foot race, as it is, you could probably keep distance between you and it for a time.
Okay.
It's moving roughly the same speed you think you could run.
Made a bellowing noise, though.
It snarled.
Yeah. My hope was to cast Entangle there
Okay.
before it got to us.
Yeah.
Kind of like as it's crossing through, but because I don't want it to be behind it. But if I think that I'll miss my opportunity, I'd say we'd run down the alleyway by the woodworker, and I'd cast it to block our retreat.
Well,
Actually,
like
I might do that anyway. That seems like the better.
That's it. You have your information. You need to make your decision.
Yeah.
And for the record, it is a 20-foot square. It is twice as big as that. Four times?
20.
It's a 4x4 square.
Yeah.
It's big. It's real big.
Would that mean it would cover the buildings?
It would grow on part of the buildings, yes.
Mhm.
Okay, that's kind of interesting if we can climb up.
Then we're stuck on top of a building.
Mm,
You
can I
win some,
do
you
a
lose some.
free object interaction would be to like pull out my knife, or would that take too much?
Yep. Nope, that's exactly what that's used for. Called drawing a weapon.
Okay. I want to cast Ray of Frost to see if I can slow it down a bit as well.
Sure, make an attack roll.
Let's do it. Oh gosh, not a great.
That is not great. Before I tell you whether or not that was successful, Tennessee, what are you doing?
I am going to cast Fog Cloud, like right in front of it.
Okay. That's also another
So
big
that-
AoE spell.
Yeah, so it fits where it will hit it, but it won't. Like
20
somewhere
foot
like around
radius.
here would be here. I think.
Get my
Yeah.
shape tool.
We're gonna run until it crashes into a wall if I step away. That would be funny.
I think we could do it.
30, 35.
I probably will also like step away. But that's when we finish the.
Okay, so ping where you want the center of the spell to be, Kara, if you can.
I think I want it here.
There.
Yep, that's perfect.
Fog cloud is a big spell. Nice and bright.
Mhm.
And it's cool because it spreads around corners and will go into houses. Okay, so we know what you all are doing, and everyone's reaction is just very, very quick. It's just that's a threat, and we don't want it near us. So I assume, because all of you are considerate enough to one another, even though it is a mildly panic-inducing situation, Elsbeth knows a way to overgrow the grass and what is living beneath the stones nearby to slow it down, and waits for everyone to get ready to move towards the woodworker shop. As both of you, Tennessee and Bree, likewise conjure magic, fog beginning to slowly come out between the edges of the houses, filling in a large area, making it very difficult to see. And at the same time, as it's just beginning to coalesce, the ray of frost streaking off into the mist. It is difficult to tell if it hit, but you don't see it you don't see it connect. It is a miss. And we're going to see if Big and Ugly are going to track you guys through this.
We
You're only
probably all move to the left, right?
Yes, now you guys have your 30 feet of movement. Please move where you would like to go.
Yeah.
Please switch to your move tool, if you haven't already.
There a hole for me?
Need to see if I see anyone inside. Probably my parent, but I guess I can't really do that at this moment. Can I see blood in the moment I get there, at least?
Well, I mean, the door is closed.
Oh, it is a door? I thought it was
It is a
window.
door. No, windows have the little white lines through the center.
Gosh dang it.
So yeah, these are doors.
It's closed.
These are windows. Yes, and it is closed. The back doors are usually closed and locked.
Okay. Good to know.
But given that you have a family member here, you probably have a key. But so that is where we are at currently. You can hear what is the frustrated sounds of this lichen trying to make its way through the fog cloud. And you do hear what is it striking solid stone, like it bumped into one of the homes, having lost its bearings in what was more or less a breakneck sprint. As you guys have all sort of gotten back into position, Tennessee at the end of the alleyway, just sort of scoping things out. It does not take a great deal of perception to see that there are a score of guards on the southern end of the street, which at a glance almost encompasses most of the town's guards. Not a big town, not a whole lot of, crime, so they don't really have a ton of guards. This is mostly to protect things that occasionally wander in. These guards fighting off what looks like a group of 4 lichens. And it is harrowing and bloody. You're at the back of the woodworker shop, uncertain as to what lays beyond. What are all of you doing now? You know there is a werewolf trying to find you.
Elspeth would be waiting for Bree to see if she opens the door or if we can hear anything. I guess I'd be doing a perception check at the very least.
Same.
listen
A
for
quick
things.
one, if I can manage it.
All right, 2 perception checks.
This is technically the forest.
Nope. That's a 10. Technically a forest.
22.
Oh
Oh,
god.
that's really good.
Thank you for saving my roll. I'm not rolling well.
While those 2 are doing that, Tennessee, what are you doing?
Just generally keeping an eye out if something's gonna come from the other direction here.
Okay, fine. Make me a perception check as well.
I do have the key in hand, by the way, but can't do anything until I'm sure. Are confident.
Modified 20.
Okay. Druid girl. All right, so Tennessee, I'm going to start with you. So you get up to the edge of the alleyway, you kind of press yourself up against the wall, you're looking up and down, you see the scrap between the guards and the lichens in the street. And as I said, while the guards are trained well enough, trying to keep a formation together, these lichens are just ferocious and rabid. And so despite shields and spears and swords, they are just being pushed upon and jumped on and being clawed at, and it's looking rough. It's looking real bad.
All the lichens look like they're just preoccupied with the guards right now.
Well, so that was the other thing I was going to get to.
Oh,
Because no one else has gotten to the main part of the street yet. In the center of town, there are 2 lichens who you observe. I suppose a third one on the way, given your stellar perception. Where around the fountain in the center of town, there are, at a glance, about 24 or so bodies, or at least what was left of them, stacked up in mounds. And it is not a pretty sight. It is horrific. There's basically not a whole person left. And they've just sort of piled them up. And occasionally you'll see the 2 that are sort of stalking around, like just one's picked up an arm and just like real casually, like a turkey leg at Renaissance fairs, just kind of munching on it. And you watch as the one, a lichen from the further part of the north is coming towards the center of town, dragging a young woman by her, chocolate brown braided hair, and she's kicking and screaming, just wildly. And honestly, again, with your perception check, you probably recognize her. This is Harriet, the Tanner's daughter. And given what you see, you don't really think she's got a whole lot left of this world before. While you're taking all that very horrible information in, Bree, you are terrified to see what is beyond this door. You're trying with your utmost ability to listen, but there's so much noise around you that is so unnerving, it's really difficult to focus. But Elsbeth, who's always had a good head on her shoulders, you focus in, you calm your heartbeat, you manage to push it to the back of your peripheries as you listen. While you can hear the sounds of the lichen that you left in the alleyway, trying to find its way closer, the sounds of the battle going on, the screams of Harriet, and just the screams of many other people in the town, you focus on what you can hear before you in the building. And it is just the briefest of whispers, but you hear 2 people having a very hushed conversation. And it's not that you can hear them speaking, you are hearing the vibrations through the wood of the wall that they're nearest to. So somebody is inside and they're trying to talk very quiet.
I would lean in very close so that I just have to barely whisper and it just say, someone's in there, they're safe. You've got this.
I quickly open the door. I'm pretty used to opening the door, I think, so I think I can try doing it quietly.
You can certainly try.
I will certainly try.
Slide a hand check.
Slide a hand check.
Again, people, they do their best to try to maintain these locks in these towns, but the locks do well, but it's like, well, what does it matter if it makes some noise?
It's an 11.
All right.
It's a mid-one.
You manage to get the key in. This lock has a little bit of character to it. You've kind of got to get the key into a certain position and then twist and then undo it and then push it a little further and twist again before it actually unlocks the lock.
I hate those locks.
Yeah, you really got to hate it, but you've done it enough. You successfully turn the key in the lock, makes very little noise, and the door is open.
What do we see?
Well, you peer into the back of the shop, as with many of these buildings, they were sort of all made with a similar layout. So immediately to your left is the stairs that lead up to the second floor. In front of you is the larger part of the area where there's more or less a large chunk of the woodworker's store that is the workshop area, which is currently in the process of the order for several chairs that needed some work and some refurbishing for the Tipsy Ram. Except the bottom floor, along with the windows in the front and the door, everything is just in shambles. It looks like just a storm blew through this place. It destroyed everything in its path.
The people that were whispering?
No one on the first floor.
Ah, I thought it was kind of look and no one else inside?
Not on the first floor.
I look out on Tennessee and Elspeth and head inside. I'm not sure if they follow.
This is technically at another top of our round. So, you guys are watching as Bree takes a cursory look into the room, decides it's worth stepping into the shop. Nessie, you've taken in all of your gruesome information. And Elsbeth, you can hear the lichen now finally getting into the brambles of the entangle that you've summoned in the alley.
Based on what I heard, what's inside the woodworker shop seems to be pretty quiet, and so that would make me think it's safe. These creatures haven't been known to be quiet lately.
They have not been quiet at all. They seem,
so
like
yeah,
I said, their behavior is more easily described as rabid than it is like hunter. The difference between finesse and just ferocity.
So my hope would be to step inside quickly, and then I'm gonna, if everyone follows, or as the door closes, regardless of who all comes, I'm going to use Druidcraft and use kind of the small gust of air to try and blow our scent down the alley as if we went that way in case the creature runs through, because he wouldn't have seen us go in at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he would not have any particular idea of what direction you've gone in yet. Right. Tennessee, you see your companions making motions to enter into the woodworker shop.
I will follow them. Stupid question.
Yeah.
The brownish, greenish bits around the buildings, is that grass?
Yes. It's not grass, so it's actually mostly snow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't, for whatever reason, my brain was like, that's brick. So,
No.
it's not.
The bricks are brick.
Not a stupid question because same.
Okay. But it wasn't just me.
Yes, the green and brown bits, in my hurried making of the map earlier today, I forgot we've been dealing with a lot of snow. I should have done snow, but it is grass, but it is snow. Forget everything I just said. There's snow on the ground. There we go.
Okay, yeah, I will go in.
Okay. All of you will enter into the woodworker shop. So in the order in which you spoke. And you close and lock the door behind you?
Of course.
Okay. Stop.
Try to do it quick.
Of course. I'll just let the assuming Bree, are you the one doing it?
Yes.
Okay.
I know it about the best.
Mm-hmm. And because of that, we're not going to have another roll. You're just going to get everyone in, slowly and quietly close the door, and then wiggle the key back in the lock to get it to lock. As you were all entering, Elsbeth and Tanesi, you did hear what is the sounds of a frustrated lichen somewhere caught up in the fog cloud as it fails its saving throw in the entanglement.
I don't want to help you with this, but apparently that's only when it's cast, not as it enters. I'll take it if you're giving it to us, but...
Nah, yeah, I don't like that.
Okay.
He's stuck, he can deal with it. Don't worry, I have like 35 other lichens in the village. It's really not a big
Oh, I
deal.
figured.
If one's caught up, it's fine. Okay. You were in the woodworker shop. Most of the finely made goods that were being worked on have been destroyed. It is very clear upon closer observation, now that you're in here taking a breath, that there are large claw marks that have just been rent through a lot of the furniture. And when you look up at the stairs, there are bunches of wooden furniture that have been thrown down the stairs, providing a very hardy obstacle for anyone to try to climb. What do you do?
Okay, so it's just a bunch of wood?
It's a bunch of furniture. Like a wardrobe, an overturned table, chairs and stools, bed frame. Like, it was, if you imagine someone's living space, all of their belongings, and they shoved it into a stairwell, trying to clog it.
Is there, like, a door upstairs? Or is it like there's no door upstairs, it's just a hall, it's just a way up?
It's a set of stairs that goes up, and then turns right and goes up a little bit more, and then it arrives to just the open floor. So there is no door at the top.
It's 10 feet. Okay, I'll look at the other two girls quick, in case they have an idea. If not, oh.
Like anything.
No, I'll try to move something aside using my strength. So
Athletics check.
If they have no idea. Like, I'm gonna give them a quick glance, see if they have an idea, or... I'm assuming no?
Don't you have the climbing potion?
Yes, I do. And I'll take one out, and I will hand it to Bree.
Views look like, like, what is this supposed to do kind of look.
Yes,
I don't...
It'll help
What?
you climb. You should be able to climb over everything instead of having to move it. If the player's remembering what it does, it's like, yeah, you should be able to climb over it like you're walking.
Okay, I'll take the potion then,
Okay.
and down it quick.
Yep. It's a little chalky, but it goes down. You now have a climbing speed equal to your walking speed for 1 hour, and you have an advantage on strength athletic checks you make to climb things. So, as aforementioned, but now with a different goal in mind, please make an athletics check with advantage.
Athletics. I'll use... I haven't seen the roll, but I'll use both that's there. It's a 15 and a 13.
Yep. And the 15 is more than enough. With the magical aid of this potion, you manage to, with a bit more physicality than you're used to, make your way up and over the furniture, pushing some aside, finding smaller spaces to crawl through, and eventually get up to the second floor. Elsbeth and Tennessee, you watch as Bree does this with a surprising amount of agility that you did not expect coming from this person. Eventually vanishing out of sight for the two of you. When you get up to the second floor, it is largely barren due to the fact that most of the furniture that was up here was crammed into the stairwell. You do see, in the far back right corner on the second story, however, the remains of the furniture and a mattress that has been more or less been pushed together into a makeshift barricade. And there are two people currently huddled behind it with sharpened stakes of wood. One of which you recognize.
Recognize how? Because I should recognize both, because I've been here probably several times.
Well, I mean, fair. One of which is your parent.
Yay! My mom and or dad.
You really got to tell me so I know how to voice them. I need at least an intonation as to how to voice them. I don't even care if it's a gender. Just give me a voice description.
I guess more feminine
Gotcha.
TM.
I
That was the original intention, but
trademark that, but okay. The other is one of the woodworking apprentices. We're going to call him Bryson.
I've come to get you. Leash. To go. Everyone will die if we're here anyways.
Where do you expect us to go, Bree? Have you not seen what's going on? They're everywhere. They're killing everyone.
And they will probably find you eventually. We're trying to get you out. I found a couple people who are also talented from the herbalism and some other girl who frequents there.
How are we possibly going to get out?
I don't know, but is it not worth a shot? I took a risk coming here in the first place. Please.
Bryson, who is young, 16, just began apprenticing here, looks very, very panicked. You can tell there's a little bit of a smear of blood on his face. It just kind of looks between the two of you. I really don't want to go back out there again. I watched him cut down the smith. I don't really have. I don't want to go back out there. They're so fast. They're so powerful. How do we stand on a chance of running away? At least here we're behind wood and walls. Just wait it out. Someone's got to show up.
It'll be too late when someone shows up. We're not in this big city or anything. Much as I'd like. They'll probably find stragglers once the commotions calm down. If they see the barricade, they'll know someone's up here. At least for now, maybe they'll be distracted with the rest of the town and we can possibly get out of here.
Bryson's looking between the two of you, very unsure, still very panicked, and just kind of points to the far window. Have you seen what they've been doing? They're gathering people. They're butchering them. And just, like I said, they just with a finger points to the far window. Do you dare take a look?
Mother, please. At least you, right? I don't know if I can convince everyone, but surely you'd...
All right. Let's go. You have people. I think it's our best chance to try to get out. Bryson, you should come with us. And he just begins shaking his head. No, no, no. I want to stay here. It's not safe. It's just not safe.
Is it better to die alone or to die together? You make your choice. I can't force you. I would prefer you to come, but
Make a persuasion check? Or group suicide? All right.
God, I got a proficiency on this myself.
Contrary to his general, thoughts on the matter, Bryson looks around, realizes that him being by himself means he's probably not going to have the best chances. And so he gets up, dusts himself off, and follows your mother out behind the wooden barricade. And they just sort of look at the pile of furniture on the stairs. I guess we have to go down now. While you navigate that, we're going to cut back over to our good woods boy, who's been waiting very patiently.
I'm enjoying the show. You've already killed off my 2 people in the narrative.
Oops.
So,
I'm sorry, are you talking about the original people or the new people?
New people.
Wait, so, okay, the blacksmith, and who else did I kill?
We're about to find out. I guess one person specifically, but they're tied to the smithy, so...
Well, the smith has an apprentice, they also have family, so I don't know who it is, but they could be alive.
Oh, we'll find out. I have them labeled down.
Okay, perfect.
I have
gonna
a
learn.
couple sticky notes all written up. But, so yeah, that would be making sure Urvius way to make sure that this one's back was kind of back and shoulder, he's not looking out the window.
Mm-mm. Yeah, and, it's a bashed open door. You just sort of saw him stalk past, and he's inside.
Is this door smashed open?
It is.
I would try to stealth up to the wall and do a peek around.
Okay. While we're using it, you know what? Yeah, sure. New segment, new roll.
And that was one better. I actually rolled a 14. So that's an 18 instead of a 17.
Okay. You are one with the snow.
5, 10, 15. 15 to here. There's a smashed door open. Did I get any sights or sounds when just kind of moving up to the wall through whatever I could see?
The interior of the smith's shop was mostly quiet and still.
Okay. By any chance, with liberties or freedoms, is this blacksmithy brick made instead of wood made because of high heat elements?
Yes.
Okay. So I got 15 feet. I want to try to just move on in like this.
Managed to snake your way in. And the blacksmith's shop is less a storefront than the other ones in this area, in that the whole floor is basically just the smith's shop. With the upper level also being part of the workshop. The smith does not, in fact, live in the premise like several of the other store owners do. But down here is what you'd expect the traditional smith's setup to be. They have their forge, which was slowly being worked up. And you can see a lot of work preparation being done on a table towards the front near the window. There was several There are several tools that are there there for maintenance. You can see a couple of pieces of the guard's chainmail that has also been set up for maintenance. You know, just the work for the day for him to start doing things. However, other than everything that looks normal, there is an obvious scene of what looks like a fight that broke out. And there is enough blood to warrant that you're pretty confident someone in this room died.
But there's bodies in here.
There isn't. It's just blood.
Is there any remains of what may have looked like a weapon that was fought with? Like, even if it's just a smithing hammer, or if it might have tried to be a fight, or you know what I mean?
Right.
Like any sign that it's not just a slaughter, that there was like some kind of struggle.
Yeah, make me an investigation check.
Okay. 13 plus 2 for a 15.
Okay. You take as reasonable amount of time as you can to sort of gather some information. And you can you find 2 points, because while there's blood on the floor, there are also footprints and paw prints, where things sort of unfold, and you can kind of follow bits and pieces. You find thrown underneath one of the nearby tables what is a smith's hammer that is just tipped in blood. And then off to the side, there is a short, broad sword that the smith was favored. It's a dwarven sword, so it's very blocky. But the smith, who was not dwarvish, but it was dwarvish trained, had a preference for this type of tool. And so it looks like these were the weapons that were used to fight. The blade is in fact silver.
Irvius just kind of sighs. Where's my name at? Okay. Poor Olev. Olev, O-L-E-V.
Yeah, or Olev.
Well, I don't know if this was his blood or not, but it can't be good.
Doesn't look good.
You said it was a short broadsword. Is that what kind of mechanics is that? Kind of what are we looking at?
It's a short sword. It's a short.
Oh, it's a short sword. Okay. Well, I say because Winterborn does have great sword proficiencies.
It is definitely not a great sword. It might have been a long sword at best.
Okay. No,
definitely not a great sword. What do you mean? You don't use great swords to chop down your trees?
Absolutely.
I feel like there's really no efficacy to that.
I mean, they use great axes to chop down trees.
Well, that makes sense.
Fair.
I'm not an expert in the subject matter of cutting down trees, unlike you, but in my brain, big sword
don't do it. No,
versus big axe doesn't really seem like it does the job.
No, definitely doesn't.
That's why in lumberjack competitions, I don't see them swinging swords. I see them swinging axes.
I think I found a new YouTube show to make.
All right, we'll talk about that later. So,
we'll move to grab the sword. While doing so, I would like to try and get to here. Is this door busted open or closed?
It is closed. It is intact. It looks like
intact.
Yeah, it looks like whatever got in here came in through the back.
Are there work tables, like big wooden work tables, or
on the left side?
Maybe like small carts or something?
The carts are outside along the building.
They're outside along the building? Okay.
Yep. But there are large work tables.
Okay.
And there would certainly be more upstairs.
Okay. Just kind of peering through the window, what does the scene look like over towards the cutter?
The cutter, aka the butcher's place, because people don't like being called butchers in my setting, because thank God's a dick.
The meat market.
Yeah. The cutter's place across the way, the front door is just completely destroyed.
I figured.
There's just splinters left.
I don't know why I thought somebody as an NPC who works at the meat market with a town full of werewolves now would be alive, but apparently I thought so originally.
Well, I mean, you don't know, but yeah,
No,
that's
I don't.
basically the treat store for lichens in this.
Yeah. I made him and then instantly went,
Wait a second.
probably not a good thing to do.
Maybe he became a werewolf too.
Let's see. Well, Tristana, the
Mhm.
woman who runs the Cutter's Market, who is a sister to Gerald, our dearly departed hunter.
Oh, rip Gerald.
Well, he did the hunting, she did the selling,
Oh yeah, that's a good.
and they
good-
got the
good
Cutter's
choice.
store from their father, Marcus. I work fast, man. I work fast.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it so much. You have no idea.
He died from an illness up actually further in the mountains, trying to hunt.
Hmm.
Can't hunt when you're that old. It's not safe.
Oh, it's a bad idea. Rip Marcus. F's in chat for Marcus.
Yeah, have some chat for Marcus. Not having any confirmation that the people he's looking for is dead, he is still going to try and make his way to the Cutters shortly. Hopefully the werewolves have already gone and gotten their snack treats from the Hooks encounters.
Okay.
I would like for you to randomly just designate a location of housing, because I feel like it's
Housing?
unfair if of housing. Yeah. So where these people may have lived in
The
town.
Smith family.
Olev, yes.
Okay. They would have.
And where Gerald / Tristana would have lived.
Okay. They would both have lived on the southwest part of town.
Of course.
In this
Figured
area.
you'd do that to me.
Yeah. Somewhere over
Can I hear the guy across the alleyway here just going a ruckus?
Yep. He is tearing the place apart.
What building is that? Is that also a shop?
Yes. I ran out of ideas for shops in town, so sure. If there's an obvious one I'm missing, feel free to label it.
Just rolled a 3. We're gonna go ahead and say that it is the linens.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Tanners are very different, so all right. What? Okay. Grab the sword. I'm going to actually also try. I want to try and locate chain manacles.
Okay.
Here in
Yeah,
the
they're not in very high demand in this town, but
Nope.
probably have a couple. You'd probably more than likely find them at the barracks, the guards' barracks. But sure, make an investigation check again.
I mean, he makes them. It's not.
Yeah,
like...
yeah, he does. He does.
And if not manacles, chains. I did roll a 16 plus 2 for an 18.
Okay,
So
chains,
there's no.
not a problem.
Okay.
However, you do find a set of manacles up on the second floor, in a corner where it's just like there's just a bunch of surplus for items that he's made that just haven't had a need to go out yet. There are several lengths of chain.
Chain is heavy though.
Yes, it is. It makes noise.
Yeah, it does. It's gonna leave the chain, take note of it, and try to pocket the manacles.
To the best
Those
of your
are smaller.
abilities, you can put them in your bag, but certainly not your pocket.
I don't know, man. I got hammer pants on. Let's see. It's upstairs. Can I get? Are there windows on the second story? And can
There
I get
are.
a better view of what's going on downtown at the well or the fountain?
Make a perception check for that.
I rolled a 10. I think that's what a
Plus
4
4.
for 14. Yeah.
This will help play part of it. Are you willing to open the window to lean out of it?
No.
Okay, didn't think so. Thought I would ask the stupid question. So in which case, you have more or less a pretty good sight. You can see these two lichens that are sort of stalking around the town circle. And they really look like they're just guarding the center of town. And it's just, you can see the absolute slaughter of people that are around the fountain. The remnants of just several dozen townsfolk. And a screeching woman, which kind of ties in with what you saw earlier.
The Tanner's daughter.
Yep.
Would I happen to see Olev or Tristana dead or alive?
With a 14, you're not really.
Okay.
These bodies have not been left in a easy to identify state.
No,
You think
yeah,
if you
not
were
at
maybe
all.
picking through the remains up close, you could maybe tell.
Well, yeah, and without a head, it's extremely difficult.
Yeah,
so
but at this distance, you can't be certain.
that's fine. That makes sense. This song's a banger. All right, I'm going to. Sorry, I'm listening to your Roll20 music cut out for me. I haven't been able to hear it for like 2 hours.
I blame it on.
Gonna go downstairs again, and I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for a moment to hear, hopefully, this guy to go that way. I want to try and I want to wait till he leaves that building.
Okay, well let me make some potentially unfortunate d20 rolls for some other NPCs. Bad news for them.
Well, I think I just heard screaming.
Yeah, after like you're just waiting and the heartbeat in your head just going by, it feels like forever. There was a moment where you hear the large lichen stop stomping around. There's a tumble of something hitting the floor, and then you do hear a high-pitched scream of a woman. And then you hear words being spoken, but between the walls and the closed windows, you can't exactly be certain what's being said, but with no obvious uncertainty, there's definitely begging being done. And then after a bit of a moment, the shrieking stops. And now...
I was gonna... God damn it. Could I roll to see how fast I could be for... Oh wait, this door's actually still closed. Never mind.
is.
I can't dash out the front without being making more
Potentially.
to the people who are literally down the street with no cover. So yeah, I wouldn't actually do any of that. I would make my way towards this direction, waiting for that guy to leave that building. And it's gonna sound really boring, but he's gonna try to make sure that he can cross that direction without having to be pinned between one in the building and some at the fountain.
Mm-hmm. Well, the lichen you watch as you're hiding in the back of the blacksmith shop. I'm just like giving you his whole path. He comes marching out of the back of the linen store. I flipped a coin to decide if it was front or back. He goes out the back, and you see, covered in crimson, dragging behind him the limp body of the mother, and in the other hand, struggling with all of their little might, a very young child, like a 4 or 5-year-old, just being carried away by the lichen. And they just march down the street.
Can't get bogged down with that. Seeing that he left, last action in there, I'm gonna try to grab soot from the forge. I'm assuming it's off. No one's been tending it.
Yeah,
no one's been
it's
pushing
barely
bellows.
anything.
Grab like soot and ash and try to like start just wiping it on my skin and to try and start scent masking.
Okay. Easy enough to do.
And with that, I'm gonna try to dip out this way and then get into the alley.
Yeah, really no issues yet.
Gonna get to the corner. I'm gonna basically... I know all of them is there in character. I don't know the people south of the herbalist store are there.
Nope.
Do I see anything in this alley?
Make a perception check.
I rolled a 14, so an 18.
Okay. You look across the way. There's evidence in a lot of the stores that they've been broken into by force.
They've cleared
Several
them
windows
already.
have been smashed. The Cutter's store is just devastating. The front entrance is completely destroyed and blown open. Large segments of the front wall have just been completely destroyed. Like, it wasn't even just the door. They just forced their way in entirely and destroyed part of the building. Yeah. The interior looks very still and sounds very quiet. You do hear sounds of something rummaging around on the second floor of the herbalist store. Or big, stupid, hungry wolf looking for that rodent that he's never gonna find.
Okay. Do I hear the fighting going on down here?
With an 18, yeah, you do hear sounds of fighting off in the distance. It's pretty loud.
I hate parts of this dire, but I love it.
Good?
I'm gonna ask if I can do something. Knowing the layout of the town, it's not on map, but with my character's background, will you set a DC for me to roll? I would like to roll some kind of insight as a gut feeling, whether he thinks that checking the Cutter store would be worth his time, or if he should immediately try to go find Tristana's house.
Okay. Yeah, you know what?
Knowing that they're
like
all
an insight
crawling
check.
around, he knows that if he goes into the Cutter store, he's going to smell like meat. He's going to smell like food. And if that is going to be worth his time, or if he can get some kind of gut feeling like I know it, she's not there.
All right. Make me an insight check.
So I rolled a 16 naturally. I have a +2, 18.
Okay. You know, Tristana is a woman who works hard, wakes up bright and early, I suppose dark and early every morning, given the time of year. She is someone that is not easy to push around. And the one thing you are certain of is that she would have been at the store. Heck, you probably even saw her on your way over to the Hunter's Lodge. And one thing you do know, given your relationship with her, is that the Cutter's place does have a underground storage that has a small side attached room for the what we call the deep freeze,
It's like, yeah, okay, that makes
where
sense.
you think is, if she was caught off guard there, that would be the best place that she'd probably go to hide.
Yeah, you really got to give me the carrot and then the stick, don't you?
Oh yeah,
That's fine. All right, we'll go for it.
we don't make easy choices here.
I'll take the bait. It's worth it.
Okay.
I'm going to try and wait for just the splittest of seconds that when this guy is not at the window and when these people seem occupied, I'm going to dash.
Okay.
It's a big opening and it's a stone. It's not out in the grassy snow. It's melting
Across the main
snow,
street,
Stone. Yeah. So I ain't gonna waste no time with it. I can hide later if I have to.
Yep. All right, so yeah, you see this lichen up on the second floor of the herbalist room. He's very preoccupied. He's just on a tear up on the second story. The lichens in the center of town, where there is a screaming woman, you hear the screaming increase as you can watch from your vantage point as the three lichens converge onto her.
I dash.
Yep, and you think you have a good opening.
Noise. So yeah, I'm going to dash. I would like to imagine that there's a little bit of off-screen. I don't really want to be between these two buildings. I would prefer if I could be in an alleyway on the other side. If I can't, I will take this alleyway.
There is space over there. Yeah, I didn't build it all the way.
You're fine. It'd be a never-ending map if you did.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll just put myself here at least.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to dash, and as I'm dashing, I want to try and I'm staring right into the busted wall to see if there's anything moving as I run towards it.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna... fuck it. How far was that? That's only 30. I'm gonna dash into it. I'm going in.
You run straight into the store.
Yep.
All right. You run in, senses just pumped full of adrenaline. You're looking around. The place, to no surprise, has been completely demolished. Any of the goods that were up on this floor seem to be completely just already looted and gone. There are signs of a fight, and there are signs of blood, but nowhere near as bad as what the blacksmith's was. The back door is sitting open. You can see it's cracked. It's not like sitting completely open, but you can tell it's open. You see the small set of stairs that go up, and you know there's a hatch to the storage down below in the back of the store behind the counter.
I've got like 10 feet or so. I'm gonna move for it.
Okay. You can get to it, no
if
problem.
I don't see any bodies in this area and I don't hear anything upstairs, I'm moving to go right for that basement.
Yeah, I'm rolling with that with your perception from earlier, before you made your mad dash. You don't hear anything. It seems very quiet.
Yeah. Hey, buddy. Yeah.
So
I'm gonna
you get to the trapdoor.
Mm-hmm.
There is, unsurprisingly, there is a slightly disheveled small throw carpet. It's just like a casual, crappy linen carpet. You pull it aside. You see that the door is there, untouched, and you can, to the best of your abilities, open it. It is a large, heavy door. Mm-hmm. How careful are we going to try with this?
It didn't look like it got tampered at all. It didn't look like it got clawed. Nothing.
No, doesn't look like it did.
I am actually going to, if someone is down there, if not multiple people, I would prefer not to get shot with a crossbow. Or some kind of trap that may have been. So I'm going to go for the latch handle and then just gently just like...
Okay.
And then I want to start opening it as I say my name. It's Ervius. And I'm lifting it up while doing that.
Yep. There's a moment where you don't hear anything. And then when you've got it open just a bit more of a crack and you say your name, you just hear someone hiss. Boy, shut up and get in here. Close the damn door.
I do. I don't even open it all the way. I just pull it up.
Yeah,
kind of
like
just like
snake in.
Fall onto my ass and then slide under, and then I pull it down on top of. I actually will hold it up and try to get the carpet.
Okay.
Up over it, and then let it fall.
Just make a sleight of hand check. That's a bit of a maneuver.
Okay, not the best roll, but I did on purpose take expertise in this. So I rolled a 6, but I have +6 for a 12.
Okay, all right, it gets you there. You know, it's gonna be in a similarly disheveled manner, but it's gonna do its job covering the door.
Okay. So I hope.
Yeah, so you hope. After you kind of climb down the small step ladder there, the scent down here is just like, it's just frost and cold earth, with a little bit of an undercurrent of blood, as expected from a better shot. As your eyes adjust, you see, hunkered in the far corner of the room, where there is an additional smaller door that goes into the air quotes deep freeze, you see the powerful woman that you've come to know as Tristana. She is in fact sitting there and is armed with a crossbow. Peering past her, you can see that there are about 4 or 5 other people piled into that room, very cramped.
Okay. None of them are Olev.
None of them are Olev.
Just figured I'd ask. You know,
Yeah,
there could be more than
that's
one
fair.
Smithy
No,
in a
you
town.
don't see Olev. You think that room would be really cramped if Olev was in there.
There could always be more than one Smithy in a forge.
I mean, you're not wrong. You ain't wrong.
Okay. I'm glad that you and others are here.
Well, yeah, after things started happening, a lot of people were there picking up cuts from the morning. And, well, I think it doesn't explain itself at all, but you saw what happened.
I saw up close and personal. I have to get this out now, and I'm so sorry, but Gerald died getting me out of the lodge.
And even though a tough woman, you just see the raw grief just kind of hit her.
We were all downstairs, and one of them turned, like, out of one of those storybooks, and he got jumped. I instinctively ran upstairs looking for, you know, the rumor of tools, of weapons. I heard that they got in because of the one woman who came through town. And while I was looking for one, he came upstairs, already injured, and decided to go out fighting. That's how I escaped.
Big dumb idiot. Story's not too dissimilar. We were opening up, getting ready. Somebody came in, pick up their order. Right as all of the screaming began, they just became this hulking beast. Luckily, we had 2 guards that were nearby and intercepted and allowed me to gather my wits about me and make some choices, and that's how most of us ended up down here. I don't know how the guards fared. We've been stuck down here. They haven't found us yet. Wasn't really sure what to do at this point.
I don't know. I do relay to her what I saw. I know there are guards, or someone at least, gathered arms and are fighting in the main road. But they've basically taken the town. All the shops, so it seems, have been raided. Poor Harriet was dragged into the center of town and eaten. I don't know if there is anything we can do but try to survive. And when it gets quiet, leave.
How long do you think we should wait? Gruesome as the thought as it is, wouldn't it be better to run now while they're feeding on people?
Could be. Or until they leave.
If they leave. They may start digging after a time. Looking for people that are hiding.
Well, if everyone feels like they can run, is anyone injured down here?
Wonderful question. Make a medicine check.
Yikes, I'm gonna get someone turning in this basement. I'm gonna have to kill a child. Medicine?
Mm-hmm.
An 11.
Well,
9
it's
plus
not
2.
great. Well, it's not great down here, but, you know, after things have sort of calmed down, realizing that they weren't about to be attacked, you get an eyeful of everyone down here. Did you happen to have a name for an apprentice smithy?
Uskar, there you go. Uskar.
USKAR. You see Uskar down here. And he has one of his arms bandaged heavily with linens, and they're like pretty actively already bleeding through. Everyone else seems okay. Maybe a scrape or bruise here or there, but otherwise fine. He has the worst and most obvious.
Assuming he was part of the fight.
Yeah. He is armed. He is carrying a much more standard short sword.
Okay. Quick question, because I have to think some, and I don't want to take up a whole lot of thinking time
Cut away.
from them. But last quick question.
Yep.
From the boogeyman stories that are told about lichens, is the myth or detail about being infected when you've been bitten or scratched made through?
Well, considering you're going off of like stories you've heard, make a history check.
Natural 20.
Wow. All right. Well, you hang in enough circles.
22.
Especially around hunters. And you know what? You made a really big point about this earlier. It's actually through some of your rarely, the rare meetings between you and the other, the lone orcish survivalists you meet occasionally, and the tales you guys sort of pass between one another of things you've seen recently. Mm-hmm. One of them described a pack of werewolves that were traversing through the mountain range to the west that they encountered once. But the exchange was amiable, which was surprising to him. But he did learn quite a bit about lichens in that passing, which he passed on to you. You know that lycanthropy is passed through the bite of a lichen. Specifically the bite.
I'm gonna ask Uskar. Were you bitten?
No, I was just clawed. Claws like knives, but got me real good.
Glad.
Them thing won't stop bleeding.
That's gonna fucking hurt. Well, we're locked down here.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta do some thinking. So
yep, giving you time.
Digest.
Passing on. After a couple of minutes, working through some furniture and with a little bit of advice from Bree, who's under some climbing juice, Bree, Mother Bree, and Bryson all managed to make their way down to the first floor of the woodworker's store. A lot of you. It is very clear that these two individuals have been through a lot. Bryson is literally shaking from fear. And while you were in this store, outside, there was a moment of a woman screaming and then silence. And Tennessee, you are very positive that Harriet is now another one of the casualties in this attack.
What direction outside?
For which?
The screen that just happened.
The center of town. So, northwest.
Only the direction we need to go.
What?
Never planned to go
It's
through
only
the center of
direction we
town.
need to-
Are you still going to try to get out there? I found who I wanted. I'd escape sooner, but... You don't need me anything, right?
I suppose not.
What's the kid name? Bryson?
Bryson.
Bryson, would you prefer we all 5 stick together? Or would you like to leave?
Took me down off that second floor. I want to get as far away from this place as I can. Sooner the better.
I want to take my mother and Bryson. Sorry, anything you need. If not, I will make haste. If you join me, then I'd be happier for more people, but
You're kind of cutting out loud enough for it to get up, so I only got enough after that.
sorry about that. Basically, do you guys want to come, or you still have business in town?
Deal.
So there's lichens in the middle of town,
Oh yeah.
right next to where the school is.
Yep.
And they were coming from that direction too.
Oh yeah. It's
Ugh.
not sounding like a great time to be a school worker or a child.
I will relay that to Beth. Say, do you think it's even possible?
Just on a quick side note, we should check. Ayla, did you manage to come back?
Oh, good.
Alright. I'm gonna take a moment. My wife wasn't feeling super well about 45 minutes ago, so I'm gonna go check on her real fast.
Okay.
And that will determine some things, so I'll be right back. Everyone take a breather.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm obviously sleepy, and I didn't want the game to run so long. It's probably me being sleepy, and also, like, I don't have another reason to stay. But also, like, going across town sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah, no, I am mostly in agreement with you. I just my character needs another person to tell her that yeah, it's okay to save yourself.
Yeah. I have a 10-hour shift tomorrow that starts at 11 a.m. Eastern, which is 7 a.m.
For us,
I'm sorry, 8 a.m.
8 a.m. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would be 7 a.m. like a few weeks ago. Fortunately. If it was that, I definitely wouldn't have joined. I just real sleepy. I understand how Ryan feels because since he's lives in the UK and we've run the game like 3 Eastern, 12, but it's so much later for him.
That's like 8 o'clock for him.
Yeah, I actually don't know his time zone exactly, but
When we end playing, it's usually 1 or 2 a.m. for him.
yeah. Sometimes he sticks a bit longer for chat, but like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When he's done, he usually is going to bed at 1 or 2 a.m. when
Yeah.
everything's wrapped up.
He's used to it, but like it's still rough.
Yeah. I don't know how CJ DMs a game at 7 a.m.
I don't know either. I think. I mean, I know the crew because I played with Dawn and Suzu and Gwen for like the 3 of us and Dyer played I think he's maybe mentioned it, a playtest for like Fire Emblem, and we did that on Dawn's time, and pretty good time, good players. The trio that I've played, because I've never played with Cider, really cool. So I imagine it'd be a pleasure to play with. But
Oh,
he just has 3 games a week. He runs 3 games a week at different times wildly. We got morning, noon, and then nighttime.
It's crazy because I wake up on Wednesday mornings and see the notification that he's streaming.
I used to watch it. I mean, I watched the first one, but I can't even manage watching it because work all the time. It'd be impossible to watch it. I don't want to look back. But I'm ready to hear any stories any of the players want to share.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. As you can tell, we have stories, but that's because we know what this place and what's going on and why it's going on.
Oh yeah, there's a unfinished one shot that happened a while back that is consequences of our campaign's actions. that we really need to finish.
You know, Dyer
It's
said
determined some things.
Dyer said you've affected some things in our campaign, and I'm honestly really curious what it is specifically.
Ooh, me too.
It's like, oh, it's not like direct, but it's like, yeah, they got some ripple effects on there. Here in the neighborhood on lichens and crystals are a nice ripple effect from us. We're
Yeah.
just
I mean, my character is a lichen tiger, so
I've heard.
yeah, that's not out of our realm. I imagine that some of what we've affected you guys, it just generally affects the world, and that we've pissed off one of the Knight Commanders of Albion.
We're not concerned about them.
No.
Just because you're not concerned about them doesn't mean that those actions don't have
Yeah.
consequences in the world.
No, they will, but it hasn't affected us. All
Yeah,
of
we
our
haven't
effects have been deity effects.
Yeah.
All of our problems literally come from like deities, and we're already consumed by it.
Lichen 1, Lichen 2, and Dead God. Just in this very short span of time.
Well, and then your deity and my deity, and the initial
okay, but
deity.
they're not the ones giving us bullshit.
Kinda.
You're maybe more yours.
Well,
Yes.
mine hasn't done anything.
You got your sparks, or you got your fire friends around.
Yeah,
What are you talking
they're
about?
helpful. Exactly. I mean, they haven't done anything negative.
No, exactly, but they've been around. So is she Kay?
She is not.
Mm.
So as much as I really didn't want to do this, it's shaping up to be best that it does, though, which is we're gonna have to make this 2 parts. I don't know when the second
Right.
part's gonna be run, but we'll try to do it so everyone can participate. But
I
it is
have
just
really-
better right now that that we end here.
I have really just a schedule all over the place. I don't have a free day specific besides Tuesday. So yeah.
Well,
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Actually, it's better if it's on a work day, if it starts late.
We can.
yeah,
we
we'll
can
do
figure
planning
it out.
later.
CJ needs to go, so
Yeah,
we'll figure it out later.
It's not that important.
So have a good night, my man.
Yeah,
No one's
thanks.
dead yet.
Like I said, usual close out. Thanks everybody. Like I said, I hope you guys had some fun. Like I said, this was a little bit different. A lot of tension, a lot of stuff. I like horror things, so I like playing with this occasionally. But we'll revisit this again eventually. Otherwise, I might do some assumptions based off of how I think things unfold for Tuesday. But until then, take care of yourselves. Make good choices. And because I know the people that are generally watching, I love you guys, and my players. You guys are all great. All right, everyone, have a good night.
Good night, everyone.